I get the vach. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody had a nice Shabbos. Super excited for this episode. Mit Harav Jake Turx. And I think it's very interesting. He mentioned, the episode was recorded a few weeks ago, and he mentioned about the war coming up and how this can potentially bring a Mashiach, and a war did break out, so his prediction was right. So enjoy the full episode. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to the episode, enjoying it, sharing it, liking, subscribing. All that means a lot. We're going to do the weekly raffle that we do over here. I'm going to show you over here, loading the comments. Loaded 70 comments. Pick a winner. Pick the winner, whatever name this is. Lamazain Ushi Fast 18. Reach out to me or producer Muchy, and we will quick pay you $100. Every week there's another winner for $100 if you simply comment and are subscribed to the YouTube channel, the Positivity YouTube channel. Also, if you've watched my status, you've seen keep on talking about the Chavivim KJ raffle that they're doing now, 1 to 500. You put in a credit card, you get a random number, 1 to 500. Obviously, you should do it with money that you have anyways put away for tzedukah or maser money, and you get a chance to win $25,000 in jewelry from SJ Diamonds or $18,000 in cash. And this is just an amazing opportunity to support a beautiful organization as Chavivim. So it's something that's close to my heart, an organization that has helped me many times. So mentioning them, and go enjoy the episode. Yitavach. Super excited to be here today. Welcome to another episode of Positivity. First of all, thank you everybody for the feedback. It really feels good to be the number one podcast by the Chassidish Oilam, and there's great other people out there that I respect that helped me set up my podcast and all, and to be great in consistency, great with audiences. The sponsors that we have, it really, really means a lot. It pushes me to another level, and I'm super excited to introduce a guest today who really doesn't need an introduction. I think everybody knows him. Jake Turx, Yankov Avrom Yankov.
You were so close.
It drops the ego when we make a mistake, they say. So,
I love it. It makes it more real.
100%.
Yeah.
But really, speaking of real, I don't think anybody is more real than you. Like really, and that's what I love about you is everything that you do is you. It's your act. You're not an actor. You're not a comedian. You're you. You're writing real emotions. I read most of your articles on Shabbos, and you're just very good. And you're very good on video also, although I don't think you're doing it fully yet. You're not like vlogging it. You're not giving out weekly, daily reports. Shout out to the sponsor of our episode, Nutrition by Tanya. Everybody knows we did already an episode with Mrs. Tanya Rosen, who is a personal somebody that I got to know. I got to know her staff, and recently they've released an amazing product, the VITATHIN. It's like vitamin, but VITATHIN, and now they have the VITATHIN Pro, which is, they've seen how people react to it, the benefits that it has. They released a newer version. Now, what is it? Instead of taking shots, instead of doing Ozempic, all these things that we all know has some benefits, but it also has a lot of side effects, they created something that is 100% natural. No caffeine. It has the main ingredient over here. You can see the bottle is berberine, which is very healthy. I personally take berberine. Every once in a while I have it in my car. I take it. It's a good immune booster. It has apple cider vinegar, and it has vitamin B12, which is very healthy for the immune system. So it slows down cravings. It also has probiotics, and it makes you crave food less. Now, if it works or it doesn't work, this is something that is healthy for your body. This is 100% natural. They've worked with a pharmacist to make sure, and they're still actively working with her to make sure that this is good for your body. So I want to talk about this because it's just a weight and energy gut booster, and I think that that's amazing, and you'll feel fuller faster. You won't have the cravings, and you're taking something natural, something that is good for your body. And when you get off of this, it doesn't go. There's no like, it doesn't shake you up or something because it's natural. So your body can go on it if you want to lose a little bit of weight, and your body can go back. Obviously, this is not like the cure to weight loss, but it's just something that helps, something that's good, even for somebody that doesn't need to lose weight. This has qualities and benefits that's just good for anybody to take. So this is the VITATHIN. You can get it in any store, any Tanya location. They have, I think, 15 locations in every single borough in town. There's a Tanya location, or online. I'll put the website in the description and put in code Weber. Get yourself 15% off when you get it in the next 2 weeks. So thank you very much, VITATHIN. Thank you, Tanya, for sponsoring this episode. I want to inspire you to do that
No.
because you're very good with
I
your
was the
speech.
first. I was the first one. I've been doing this stuff since like 2006, 2007 is when I started. Back when the only way to do it was on text messages.
Yeah.
It was gonna accompany UPAC, and I started then.
Uh-huh.
I'm already way past that.
Okay.
Way past that.
Oh, they're putting out videos and
Yeah.
stuff.
No. I figured out. Let's say I put out my own content every week. Yeah. Okay. I build myself up. A lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of siyata shemai. I get 10,000 followers, I get 20,000 followers, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You build yourself up. And then I say the Torahs that I'm into. I put it out there. There are a lot of successful people that are covering different aspects of the Ge'ila and different like Sfurim that they're into, and they have their own channels, their own podcasts. And some of them have thousands of views on every episode. But I realize they get the same few thousand people come out every time. They reach the same audience.
Okay.
Okay.
And?
So but I can go on a different podcast every week and reach a brand new audience every single time. So why should I do something and just reach the same few people when I can inspire different groups of people each time?
You want the answer?
It's a
when
rhetorical
you do
question.
it your way,
yeah,
you're helping others. When I do it my way, I'm helping myself. This is my audience.
I hear you. See, so
and if I can say regarding business, the difference between social media, which is what I do, Weber Media, we have a company, I do social media for Jews by Julie, Sesame, Eichler's, Klein's Ice Cream, some of the biggest companies out there. And the difference between paper ads is also the selbe Zach. When you put the paper in the ad, as to support it, Mishpacha Ami and Weekly Link, and when you do a social media post, has to support a dich. Even if you pay somebody to post the posts for you, it's your platform always.
Listen, chesed starts at home.
Yeah.
And self-love is
so I'm saying,
when you love yourself and you do chesed with yourself, then you can do chesed with other people.
But I think you should have a platform of your own. People that trust you, love you, can follow you. It's super powerful. One day when you open a business 100%. Or you want to continue your journey, you want to do whatever you do, they are now your people.
Listen, you're talking to someone who has over 40,000 followers on Twitter. I'm not out of the game.
But anyway, this is alles a mitten introduction. By
no, this is Sigit. You told me yesterday. This is how you roll.
Yeah, it is. It really is
natural. People love natural.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to finish introducing you. So Jake is an amazing person, somebody that I know for probably 15, 20 years. I'm trying to think when was the first. Probably the first time I saw you wasn't probably Ami Magazine. No. And where did I must have seen? Maybe Twitter even? It's probably Twitter. Yeah, I was a Twitter user 10, 15 years ago, 10 years ago.
When did you join?
I joined in 2017. I actually joined under Michal Schnitzler's name because I did his social media.
Okay,
so I must have seen you over there. Yeah. I must have seen, and I was like, this guy is.
No, but 2017, I was already. I'm with Ami since they started. So
right, so that's even
even
before. So I probably saw you there also, but I made the connection. But I was an active Twitter user. Like I built up a few thousand followers under Michal's name. But I think that you're an amazing person. I also watched your episodes on Latest Talks, Penny Rab, which helped me tremendously, by the way.
Penny's a very close friend.
He helped me in business, not just podcasts.
He helps everybody. He's such a chesed. I just spent Shabbos with him this last Shabbos. He has a program for Hasidic Shabuchanim outside Monroe.
Yeah.
And so I went there. Basically, it's a Shabbos Tati, Shabbos Mami program. Ich bin the Shabbos Tati, my Rebbe is the Shabbos Mami.
Oh, wow.
And my kinder, we had a beautiful Shabbos. We got to chill with the Buchrim.
Wow.
and it was mamash a blast. And
Yeah.
he's such a good man. And we
So I've
love
seen
him.
you on that platform, and I was like, you have a world in your head of a lot going on.
Yes,
Um,
it's true.
and enlighten us, and I'd love to hear from you. And so many people have requested it, and I was like, okay, guys, let's do this. And then you mentioned that you're into the law of attraction.
Well, yeah, I
So
was. I
that to
started.
me,
I've been into the law of attraction for many years, and I have a very interesting insight into it. I want to start with the shtickle
yeah, you
Toyota
start.
first, and
Fine.
then we'll get to the law of attraction because
Sure.
I want to hear your understanding of the law of attraction, and then I want to share with you my realization on it, and then let's see how it aligns.
Can I share now my
In a
thought
second,
of law of
no,
attraction
yeah,
after
but
the
first
Torah?
we'll do an shtickle Toyota.
Okay.
This is from Sefer Zachariev. Anyone at home, if you have a Sefer Trayusad, and you go to Sefer Zachariev Perek Ches, and it has a few very interesting descriptions about what the world is going to be looking like in the generation when Gog Magog, Milchemes Gog Magog is going to happen. He has a few interesting things, a few nevias, and one of the nevias is a very, very one of the most famous nevias because of a song. Is that singing?
Ja, ein bisschen.
Okay,
Liebst singen.
so when we get up to that pusuk at the singing after,
Okay.
and then look, as I see, if you don't like how it comes out, you could put it onto Sumo and then you could repost it afterwards.
Can I have voice enhancement?
Nicht nur voice enhancement. It's an AI. It takes your song, your voice, your words, and it redoes it in any style with any kind of professional music background, however you want to do it. It's unbelievable. Ich bin nicht do that to plug, I just whatever. I know a lot of people in the music industry have recently gotten into it, and it's just crazy what it's able to do.
Yeah.
So, and then you'll see why I'm mentioning these nevias. There's a few short nevias. Perek Ches. He says, "Vidvar Hashem tzvukas laimoid. Koimar Hashem tzvukas kanik keneti letzion kanik doilu b'chaim doilu keneti la." Bashefe gait stark neukim zan against all the nations that try to destroy the Eden, and this is going to be happening in the era of Milchemes Gog Magog. Koyumar Hashem, Shabti Asiyon v'Shachanti B'Soich Yerushalayim. Shefa says he's going to return to Eretz Yisrael at this time. He's going to live in Yerushalayim. V'Nikru Yerushalayim ira emes v'Har Hashem tzavukas har HaKodesh, which means the Beis Hamikdash is going to be rebuilt in this era. Next, Koyumar Hashem tzavukos. Oid Yaishvi zekainim is kainois b'Choyvis Yerushalayim.
Oid
Yaishvi is kainim is kainois. We're freewheeling, right?
Nice.
Unscripted.
Yeah.
And how does the high part go? Let me explain what it means.
Yeah.
Zechariah Novi lived in the times of the Chav Beis Hamikdash, the Esh, the Chav Beis Hamikdash. He's walking the streets of Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is empty. Yerushalayim then looked like Gaza today. The buildings destroyed, nobody in the streets, empty streets. And he says, Oy Yishu is a kindness b'chovetz Yerushalayim. It's going to be a day when Elter Yidden are going to be sitting at the sides of the main roads in Yerushalayim, and then the streets are going to fill up. Yeludim v'yeludois mesachakim. Kinderlich, jüngliche, meidlich are going to be playing in the streets. Fragt Abba Benel, was das mir sagen? Why do I need to know that they're going to be elderly men and women sitting on the side of the street? Just tell me about what the kids are doing. What's he adding about the Zakainim is Zakainim?
Right.
He says something on the Abba Benel Ganarishin.
Right.
Zukter. The Yidden are going to come back to Eretz Yisrael. They're going to start living in Eretz Yisrael. There will be a generation of babies that are going to be born in Eretz Yisrael, and the first class of babies that are going to be born when we take back Eretz Yisrael, they are going to be the Zakainim is Zakainois when Mashiach is going to come. That means the kinderlich that were born 80 years ago are the 80-year-olds today.
Wow.
And so it says, Ishmishan toy biyudoi, meroi vyumim from old age. But what's the meroi vyumim? The generation of kids that were born 1948, 1949, the 1950s, they saw all of the Nissim with their own eyes.
Right.
How many times, but in Spabitza genocide, noch the Holocaust.
Right.
You had 1948, you had 1967, you had the Yom Kippur War, you had October 7th, you had everything in between. And they are going to see the bruchas of the Bashefer coming true in their Einiglech, as Einiglech are running around the streets in Yerushalayim playing. So powerful. Next. He says he's going to bring Nissim in a way that the world had never seen before. And the Metzidah says, Kaviyuchel, says even the Eibishter is Kaviyuchel going to be impressed with the level of Nissim that he's going to be performing for us. Mm-hmm. Next, the Eibishter is going to bring back his nation from the ganze Welt, from the lands of the east, and from the land wie der Sinn geht up, all over the world. Okay, and then the last one is B'shachnim Yerushalayim hoili la'am v'niyelem la'lekim be'emetz b'tzedakah. Bashef is going to get leben zusammen mit uns be'emetz b'tzedakah. Why am I telling you this? Okay. Because of what it says in the next pusik. Okay, it says Koyumar Hashem Tzavukos. It's going to get very interesting, by the way. Like, we're going to talk about interesting things also, but just
yeah.
Follow me over here, okay? It says, now, Zechariah Nuvi lived over 2,000 years ago. We're talking 2,500 years ago back.
Okay.
And he says, Techaskenu yedaychem, strengthen your hands. Hashoyme bayum ha'mu'ayla, the generation that's living in that generation, the generation that he's writing to, us. He says, Chevre, Techaskenu yedaychem, strengthen your hands. Hashoyme bayum ha'mu'ayla, the ones who are alive then, who are listening. Es advur mu'ayla, was hören uns these Werte von der Nuvi. Bipihan Vim, from the mouths of the Nevi'im. And then he says, because Kilifnaya Yoma Muhain, before this generation, kan Geld nicht gewähnt, people didn't have shul, people were pacing back and forth, mekimt megait nicht du kan shulim, and vashachayis kol udam ishperei ai, people say machloikis and fights, I never den zweiten, but va'atu loikum rishonim, but this generation is not going to be like those.
Wow.
Ani lish iris huam hazen im Hashem soges, I am going to be with you. And then he says that it's gezan an abundance from wealth. Jeder geht muss essen. We got tumbus mit darf. And we see we're mamish here.
Yeah.
We're mamish here. And then he finishes it off by saying, V'hoyu kasher isim klulu bagoyim, Pinta Zoivi, the Jewish people, were considered a klulu bagoyim for 2,000 years. Muttons gebullied, geroidev, they pushed them, every bad thing imaginable they did to us. And just like for all the previous generations, everybody despised us and looked down at us. Kaina shia eschem, v'yisem brucha. Eibush is going to rescue us, and we're going to be like a brucha. Al tirui, so don't be afraid. T'chasken yadaychem, strengthen yourselves. Wow.
Powerful.
He wrote this to us, to this podcast, to this audience.
Yeah.
Zechariah Hanovi. He saw us and he wrote this.
It's insane.
It's insane. And if you go through, especially Trayusa, the whole Trayusa is, Mamash, the whole Trayusa has messages for Achras HaYomam. And anyone who knows the news, and Efan with English attached, learn doch mefarshim, you could understand it.
Right.
If you understand the news, you could understand how these things are unfolding.
Yeah. What I love about this is it's so powerful, but because I keep on saying on podcasts on my status, I keep on saying that the time that we're living in, and I can say it because I know like thousands of people and I know firsthand, like I have a big community and I can see that the times we're in is amazing. I think we're really doing well. I don't think people really understand, like from a medical perspective, from a political perspective, from a money perspective, we're in a very good time. Klal Yisrael, I think, is in a very good time. The amount of chesed, the amount of love, I think it's a beautiful place.
Resources, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're in a beautiful place.
And the fact that Yidden are communicating with Yidden all over the world for the first time in history.
Yeah.
Yidden didn't even know about the existence of Yidden anywhere else. And today we're all able to communicate.
Exactly.
I want to tell you a funny story that happened to me this week. I told, whatever. So I told them, because the last hostage finally came home. Now, I taught them a chayni, Kabbalah says rule is to say chayni when putting them to sleep, and we say chayni every night. And I even composed my own chayni,
Okay.
and I would sing it together with them. And so Chazai gezogt. So when I started, my younger one gewinnt 2, and the older one was 4, and now like it's been 2 years. So that's like half their lives.
Yeah.
Zogen sei chayni for the hostage. So Chazai gezogt, the last hostage came home. So the elder gezogt, thank you Hashem. We were so excited.
Yeah.
And the younger gezogt, and like Amish, it struck me that to me is the kite of Kinder, because Chabad man Seide, the mortal health was sagen nicht stark. Liegt nach Bett schon für Jahren, kann nicht reden anymore. So, sagt man, 4-year-old, die sagt, does this mean Zaidi can talk now?
Wow.
She connected, the hostages came in a high with Mashiach, and she assumed that this means that Zaidi can reden. It's like, we're watching these things, we're going to see this very soon. We mentioned was, haben verlieren seine ability to communicate and can communicate.
Right.
Man sieht schon the prosthetic legs, man sieht
Miracles.
From the types of blindness and hearing loss and everything.
Right. Well, die kannst dich lernen. I think there's a machloikas whether when Mashiach it came and said zana so boom, or if it's just going to be a transition into beautiful stuff, right? Is that true?
So obviously the Rambam says that it's going to be Elam Kimin Hoganog.
Wow. Like Mama Shavi yet, aber Saduash, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Very famous Rambam. I want to tell you what's so interesting about the Rambam.
So now there started a miful, Kala Toira, by the way, where you can learn Rambam for free, by the way.
Well, you can do it for free already.
No, I'm saying they send you the cipher and there's She'iram.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
Anyway, okay. It's just funny that you mentioned it, but okay.
I'll tell you what's so fascinating about that Rambam. Stel zich voor, you're living 1,000 years ago, and through Riach HaKodesh, you're able to see what the world's going to look like today. You see cars, airplanes. You see people walking around with a chaloin. Because me kick that on and me can say, "Me soifa oilam bat soifa."
Yeah.
Right? And any of us seeing all of these things, anything, you see like a tomato that's in ganzen orange. You see a pogo stick. Everything, you'd be like, wow, this is Altsnism.
Yeah.
But the Rambam saw it and he says, no. The technology is going to reach that point. It's going to look like Nissim to all previous generations, but to us, it'll be like, Google.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, cut this out probably.
I usually don't cut.
Then don't cut.
So yeah.
Naturals, chemistry, humans.
Yeah, I'm about the consistency. So I be cutting and days. I never get to put out anything.
So look,
I do it every week. I'm not once a month or whatever. Like
if you come with the mindset of I don't cut, then you're retracting that into your life. So what I did.
I was just gonna say it, by the way.
How did I know you're gonna say it?
My guess.
How did I know you're gonna say it? This is how the law of attraction works.
Emma's.
Yeah.
You're always attracting.
See, did I just show
happening.
you? See, it's show don't tell. The law of attraction habit.
Yeah, but that's also, in my opinion, my opinion of law of attraction is I think that Bechira is law of attraction. Basically, and God hat uns auch geschickt, du, in gesagt, in order for this life to be fun, is ga ich machen a healthy balance between ich control alles and ultimately whatever ich will, like I'm always your protector. The Baal Shem Tov redt schon auch von dem that begeit Salmovas, like God is the shadow. Was a mensch did, God is going to follow you. I feel if you're going to do something, a very bad thing, God is there as well. And then there's the healthy balance of the has Bechira. Die has choice. Die can't kannst fun, kannst exploren. Get the options as indigens. As an option. The options are completely free. You can do whatever you want. Not only that, is that any gitte Sache, wat du willst haben, kannst du haben. Ich will just enjoy life. The life is about enjoyment, which is very different than what I've grown up or what kids have grown up in Manatzat and wie life is about getting to a goal. Life is about mitchanish. The average Malamed hat in zo's gelernt nach life is about struggle and life is about hardships. And so you still have YouTubers and Sachen, it's about the struggle, it's about the grind. I don't think it's true. Baruch Hashem, I always say this not in a bragging way. Baruch Hashem own multiple businesses. I don't struggle. I'm doing this during the day. I'm very
Okay,
happy.
you could be
I
lucky.
set myself up.
It could be chesuvas or whatever. Not everyone's like that.
100%, 100%. But
Yeah.
this is what I attracted. This is what the way I structured it. So so again, it's what we make out of our lives, and that's what we attract. Now, with law of attraction, the common misconception is that um, is that you're using it, your days, it's not like that. Law of attraction means a law in the universe, like the law of gravity, which means that this cup is going to, by default, if I drop it, it's falling down because there's gravity. Alles wird geschleppt to the floor. Law of attraction meint, as jede Sache in a mensch's life wird attracted, hat attracted zu ihm, good or bad. So Menschen fragen, so you said telling me that a Mensch had the cancer alleine attracted it to himself? So the answer is that, first of all, it doesn't have to be that they attracted it, by the way. It could also be that it happened.
It could
There's
be
different
genetics.
ways.
It could be someone was born.
Correct.
Bashaf decided at this age he's going to go through this.
Correct. But also, you should know that majority of people that do have an illness will tell you why they got that illness. They'll tell you either I'm holding emotional baggage or I was doing something physically. Most of the time they can connect the dots of the attraction as to why they got what they got. Okay? Wenn ein Mensch glitschig aus in der Schnee, hat er sagen, ja, ich bin gelaufen wie ein Maschinen. Like, it's not, most of the things that happen in life is not a mystery. God didn't bring us here. There's going to be a lot of things that you can't understand. He has the answers to everything. It's just the opposite. Sometimes like, don't ask questions. Don't ask questions from who? From the person, from the creator that has answers to everything. So law of attraction is real. It works, and I think it's the biggest gift that God gave to us.
Okay,
that you can literally attract everything you want.
I think you're already on a Chatzi expert level over here, because I think for a lot of people who don't like fully understand like how you got law of attraction, to simplify it a tiny bit, is the energies that you put out there are the energies that you're more likely to attract into your life. In simple terms, in drei Werte, mitzvah goyreres mitzvah.
Yeah, but this is the advanced level, by the way. You started at the advanced.
So
I started at the simple level.
You started at Egitz and Mitten.
I started by saying...
I just went to both extremes.
What I'm saying is they have to acknowledge that in your life, everything that you have, good or bad, has to be attracted. If you're in a bad relationship, you attracted it, consciously or subconsciously.
This is already something that...
No, this is level one.
There's so much nuance within this.
This is level one.
I'm trying to simplify.
This is the simple version. This is level one. A oisher had attracted zanashiras. A uraman had attracted zananias. That's level one. And again, consciously or subconsciously. Subconsciously meint that subconsciously meint as an ganze family is poor, so automatically is poor. Bis ik the ish then break the cycle. So versteht sich keine will nicht an uram krank in a bad relationship.
Okay, let me explain it a different way. This is Gillis.
Yeah.
How does a Zgilla work?
Major attraction. Only attraction.
So let's say...
By the guy said tzaddik, how does that work?
One at a time.
At a time. No chance that they tzaddik can be helfen.
One at a time.
No chance. He's not here.
That's why tzaddikim say...
He's not living.
A minus tzaddikim. It has to do with the energy. The power of belief is able to attract good things into your life. And when you do it through tzaddik, it comes through a heilige source. Then it's more likely to manifest itself.
Because of your belief.
In a quicker way and a more positive, because you believe and you're connecting to something very powerful and positive.
Correct.
It's important because a lot of people, so Sidhu mentioned that he alles gillis and still didn't, nothing happened. Let's say someone goes, ik ga tzaddik va bruche zo mashedich, yeah? Bekim the bruche, what happens between the bruche and the shidduch? If he goes and he gets a brucha and then he goes into bed and says, okay, I'll wait for the calls to happen, that guy's not attracting anything to his life.
Correct.
You have to take the power and then go with it. So now he has the confidence and the courage to do the things, to call the shotgun again, to go out with girls that maybe he would have never given a shot before. And he's like, what could go wrong? The tzaddik is davening for me. Of course it's going to work out. So it gives him the confidence and okay. But then there are people who they'll say, as Gilaf Hashiris, I do 104 Gilaf Hashiris and I'm still poor. It has to do with the mindset also. It has to do with the mindset. By the way, it's a lifestyle.
And if I can say, people always say, wusste sich mit der Minne and belief in Hashem and alles kommt von der Eibster. Correct. Law of attraction is you
The Eibishter
believe that the
gave you
Eibster.
this method. He gave you this
Not only
method.
gave you this method, but
And the
law of
Torah is full of these little tidbits and all these gillis that if you tap into it, that is the path of
100%.
attraction. So
Ramata Frank has a whole book.
so I want to
Sol
tell you a
Cipher
big
on
mistake
law of
that people
attraction.
make. Oh yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Mother Frank's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to tell you a big mistake that people make. And so I came across the law of attraction when I probably like, I don't know, 2009,
Oh, wow.
maybe 2010, like
Okay.
a long time ago. And one of my role models, one of the Rabbunim that I would discuss these types of things with, Rabbi Chunan Tober from LA.
Okay.
So I said, I came across this idea, law of attraction. What is it? Is it based on koiches timid? Is that? He knew right away. Like, he's brilliant. So he knew right away what I'm talking about. He already understood the whole as a Breslovis. So he has a wide range of knowledge. And he says, no, this is a creation that the Bashefa put into the Bria. But you have to understand that it doesn't always work because people don't always understand like how it actually works. So
not only that, God can also save you. You want to attract a beautiful car, but God, like I said, He's the higher power. So die kan trying to attract wie lang de willst. Hat ook gemacht, it's not for me. That's the beauty of life.
I'm going to tell you something I never shared with anybody before. Okay. So it was about that time, and that's when I started working for Ami. And I got to Ami through Mesamayach, a very close friend of mine, Israel Frankel. He's a Aiden by the Frankfurters, and we used to go to hospitals together, volunteering. And then one day, so my Schwig is opening a magazine in a few months. You're a funny guy. Why don't you write? Like this, I see. He's like, nah, you write a lot of social media posts. You're very funny. Like, sit down, sit down my Schwig, see if there's a place for you.
Okay.
So that's how my whole Ami career started.
Wow.
But the part that I never told anyone was, so at about that time, I'm like, okay, so the law of attraction, so ich will attract an interview with the President of the United States into my life. I believed it, I visualized it, I put a lot of mental energy into it.
Okay.
And when Obama was running for re-election 2012, I got to know some people in the campaign, and I worked on it, and I thought I was going to get it. And they told me at one point, they even told me, I should an email with the list of topics that I want to discuss. That's how close I got.
Okay.
And then it didn't happen.
Okay.
And while I was pursuing Obama, I so stark geglaubt that I even went out and interviewed like all the Republicans that were running for president. Like it was Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum. Newt Gingrich, he was the first one. He started my whole political career.
Oh, wow.
Newt Gingrich. Ron Paul was my favorite. Ron Paul and Herman Cain.
Yeah.
They were my two favorite interviews, just for whatever, different reasons. But I never got Obama. And then I was like, what happened? I believed it. I had the light track. The problem with how people think the law of attraction works is it doesn't work that it's nicht so a vending machine. You put in two thoughts and throw a can of soda. It's not. It doesn't make your wishes come true. It's not the law of attraction. What attraction does is it brings things into your life. So that's why you'll see. Why is Lushan Hara the biggest protector? It just occurred to me recently. It's mind-blowing. Lushan Hara protects people. How? Lushan Hara is the number one thing anyone can do to improve their lives in a way that no other single thing can. And here's why. Because someone who's makpid on Lushan Hara, he ends up only attracting other people into his life or makpid on Lushan Hara. Because the guy was always talking Lushan Hara, you're not interested in hanging out with him, and he's not interested in hanging out with you.
Wow.
So the guy who's always talking Lushan Hara is attracting the people who are into Lushan Hara. And the people who are not are attracting the people who are not. So I remember there was a friend of mine who was going through a hard time. And he's telling me about how people were bashmitzing him in the streets. And he thinks he said, this guy is the one. He says, you know so-and-so. I said, no. He says, you don't know. This guy embezzled $13 million. You know what he does to his wife and Bibi? And I said, whoa, darf nicht wissen. He says, I think he's the one spreading. If not him, my shvuger. Oh, my shvuger. Let me tell you about my shvuger. Do you know that when he was a bucher, I'm like, I don't need to. And then but he keeps on saying like all these famous cases about these people who did horrible things. And he's like, how do you never heard of? I said, no, I never heard of these guys. He's like, it's such a famous story. Like, I never heard of, I have no
Right.
idea who you're talking about. And the guy,
Right.
and I realized, Nabach, this guy is living in a world of bad people because he attracted these people into his life.
100%.
And a Yid who's makbid, and that's why I wear my Chaban Bendel.
Oh,
This is
okay,
my,
what's this?
I call it my NDA with the Chofetz Chaim.
Which side?
This
Lashon Hara,
reminds me
Elohim
not to
Medaber
speak
Elai?
Lashon Hara, yeah. Yeah, exactly, from that campaign.
Wow.
And Azo, if you ever see me by a
Nice.
press conference, I raise my hand, Papa Days.
Oh, yeah?
They just reminds me of
Yeah.
the responsibility that a journalist has to be makbid on Hilchos Solution,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So this is my little breakthrough on the law of attraction. Now, it doesn't work as a wish machine, as a wishing well,
It's a fact.
and it works in improving your life in ways that you wouldn't notice because to you it's like your regular life. You see your bubble. So
Correct.
down bubble is the bubble is style line attracted.
It's already happening. Are you doing anything now consciously to track stuff, or were you done with that, or like you got my question? Like
Yeah.
are you still using it actively to track anything in your life?
I've been using it in ways like like never before. Like sometimes I will have a certain attraction to a location, and I'll go down to that location, and I'll find unbelievable things there about things happening in the news, things that have relevance to the Ge'ila.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
impressive.
trippy stuff. I'll tell you soon about my story in Syria.
Okay, what else do we want to cover?
Yeah. So, oh, you know what we didn't talk about? I wanted to mention, like on this Indian,
Yeah.
the whole thing about
The video.
the video.
I really want to hear your opinion, because can I say my opinion?
Please, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, will ich sagen that as a Yid, I want to acknowledge
As a Jew, hashtag,
as a Jew,
as a Jew.
that I want to acknowledge that the video triggered me, but not necessarily because I think somebody else was wrong. It's because I don't like to be called out. So don't call me out for who I am or for who I'm not. I don't care. So I want to acknowledge the trigger aspect, which I think most people can't acknowledge.
Why don't you want to be called out? If you're doing something wrong, then improve
So-
yourself. If you're not doing something wrong, then
No, I'm saying it's uncomfortable. It's
Yeah.
uncomfortable. The fact that somebody comes and says, "Hey, you're doing this or that," there are people doing stuff, and sometimes somebody calls you out on it and says, "Okay, it's not
Yeah.
okay what he did." I'm saying it's okay when somebody calls you out specifically for a specific thing. I'm just saying I'm able to acknowledge the fact that people, like, I saw some of the posts that people made from random people. I'm not talking from a Kehilla or a Rebbe, or I don't know if Dayunim, if even they put out. But I'm saying many singles, like, can you come and talk about this Jew hater? Acknowledge that you're projecting your story on what's happening in the world, and you're projecting it on him. And this, by the way, goes to my theory. I'm curious your opinion on this. All these people posting on social media, every little hate crime, einige mal eine halbe swastika, and the guy, "Oh, this we're not tolerating this." You're giving that little goy attention for no good reason. You're giving him free publicity.
yes.
You're spreading the hate to your own brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
Why?
Yeah.
This
You
is-
figured it
there's
out, by the
no-
way. You figured it out. Most
there's-
people don't
it's
understand it.
It's
Yeah.
mamish ekeldig, and then it becomes a trend. So everybody's reposting and this, and it's going viral. And so I'm acknowledging that. The same thing I'm acknowledging here with this video. For the positive person is able to sich lachen. Also, yeah, gemacht a video. The negative person, or the person that loves drama, is saying, "How can he do this? And we went through enough suffering and pain, and now you're putting out
We're gonna
another
tear him
YouTube video.
down.
So
We're
let's
gonna
us
show
tear
him."
that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
let's go
yeah.
out and be nasty," which caused a huge chil Hashem, because he posted every message that people put out. He posted on his page, and we, in my opinion, we looked bad. Again, I think he did something disgusting. I don't think it's cool. But what we did what the few people did in the aftermath was for sure bad. And number 3 is saying to not talk where does this come from? Is it a Torah perspective? Is it a
So
educated decision?
insecurity,
It's complete. It's a complete
it
insecurity.
even it comes from
Like telling ultra
yeah.
from people not to talk, I understand because maybe they don't know. But to say completely not to talk,
It comes from a bar of low expectations.
Yeah.
Like it's like we don't trust that you're able to express yourself adequately.
Yeah.
So don't talk because we can't control what you're going to say.
and I don't think that the people that
And they're not
spoke on
wrong
the video,
either.
and by the way, I don't think the people that spoke on the video made it bad. I think it's
They
I
were
think
being
it's
they were being authentic. They were
exactly
being real.
exactly. I
So-
think it's his agenda that made it look bad, or the way he edited, let's say. But the people that spoke, they did nothing wrong. They came out very sweet.
Yeah.
So what he said, we're fruitful. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with
Yeah,
that?
well, yeah.
What's wrong with the guy who said I have a business, or the guy who said don't talk to me? Like, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That's what they would say in any natural setting, with or without the camera on.
Yeah.
So this is very.
What's your take on the whole thing?
No, you definitely hit most of the right. No, I'm very impressed, Ellie. You're very good. I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to say not only was I not bothered by what he did, but I'm not going to say it was a good thing, but I'm going to say there's something of value to be taken out of every scenario, every situation.
Because you see the positive. You're a positive person.
It's I'll tell you.
And I feel the same.
It's a positive, but it's also. It's not about like, well, let's self-reflect and let's see, like, first of all, a lot of the hate out there is fueled by the people who are sincerely are trying to fight the hate because they think that they can fight the hate and minimize it and make it go away, and they're making things worse. As much as they're trying, as much as their heart's in the right place.
Right.
There's an old Yesoid back, from the Gemara. I want to say this to all the anti-Semites out there watching. Mm-hmm. If you want to be successful in your life, if you're an absolute nobody right now, you're nobody, and you want like a shortcut to success, I can't believe you didn't find this in the Talmud yet, because this is like in the Talmud, you should know this. The shortcut to success, if you're a Gentile, is become a Jew hater. If you become a Jew hater, you could go from your mom's basement to hundreds of thousands of followers in just a couple of weeks. Oh, wow. You'll be relevant, you'll travel the world, everybody's going to listen to you, and suddenly you'll have all of this newfound fame. Now, it's an investment, because you're going to be, there's going to be the part where you have to pay later. But right now your life is going to become very exciting, and very quickly. Tita said this to Inkelis. He says, Inkelis, why become a Yid? Become an anti-Semit. You'll be so successful. Why do you have to become Jewish? So this is a principle that's been around for thousands of years. You see absolute nobodies who have so much fame and prominence, and the only thing they've ever contributed is anti-Jewish memes. Yeah. So.
But I personally don't. Yeah.
So. Anyone who tries to tap into this, the Sultan is going to help you. The Sultan is going to give you an audience.
So you're saying Tyler had that success because...
That, I'm not saying Tyler had that. I'm not saying that was Tyler's agenda. See, but here's how it works up in Derech HaTeva, okay? I have no reason to assume that Tyler approached this with any bad intentions. I have no reason to assume that he hates any Jews, even now. I don't know. I don't know what's in his heart. I have no reason to assume that it's coming from a bad place, even. What I could assume is he has two choices. He could do a video and show Hatzula and Chavairim and all the wonderful things in the community, and put a thumbnail showing people sitting by Shtain that are learning Torah, and the headline is going to be, I had a great experience with the Jewish community.
Yeah, Jews are angels.
Jews are cool.
Yeah.
Jews rock.
Right.
And
nobody watches.
He'll get 800 views, whatever. Fine. Yeah. Or he could put a thumbnail
of a burning city.
Right.
Right. They take welfare.
Yes.
Then you click on the video and you find out, it's not true.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They're actually working.
It doesn't exactly. It doesn't matter what's in the actual video, but it as long as the Sultan is able to use that, as long as there's a thumbnail and a headline that the Sultan can use, it's gonna go wild.
Right.
And you see a lot of copycats that are trying to tap into, it shows up to Lakewood. Yeah, I'm gonna do it now. Yeah. It's because they know it works. Yeah. They know the algorithm is heavily favors this kind of content. So And then all the people who try to fight it only give it more, because now everyone who didn't see it are seeing it from all the people that are trying to fight against it. So the bottom line is this. First of all, Gemura says you can learn a lot from a person based on his name, right?
Yeah.
What's Tyler's last name? Alavitis.
Wow. Right.
Alavitis. So what's the positive takeaway from this? He is showing us actively what it looks like when we spread Lashon Hara about somebody else. He's going out there spreading Lashon Hara about us. Some of it's good, some of it's not good, some of it's twisted in a way to make it look worse than it is. Some of it's things that we can self-reflect and say, okay, maybe we should be doing things differently, whatever it is. But he is showing us what it looks like when you speak Lashon Hara against a community of Eden for an hour straight. This is what it looks like. You want to keep talking Lashon Hara about people? Is this what you really want to put out there? It's so clear. He's a shliach from the Bashefer. He didn't have to be the shliach. He has the bechira to choose not to do the shlichus. But now that he's chosen this shlichus, we have to take away, because we're not self-aware of when we speak of other people or of entire communities. So this is what it looks like when you're talking to someone else about another Yid.
Right.
Do you want to be the Tyler Alavitis?
Right.
Or do you want to be an Ehrlich Yid and try to resist the temptation?
Right. Wow. Beautifully said. But I want to add that I think that everything comes down to our perspective. Me being of the anxious type in the past, I learned to kind of minimize, not to blow up. Like, ich sehe mich nicht ganz zuras. I'm not looking for a video to come out and me now live in fear. So I learned very well to see it for what it actually is without connecting a story to it. So when I see that video, I'm like, it's a video. Someone will see the positive, somebody will see the negative. I know I don't need to label it. And same thing is for all the news or anti-Semitism that's happening. There is a small world and a bubble that's involved with all of that news. And then there's me and other people. And I choose to not get involved. I choose to always see the positive, to see the Kiddush Hashem, to see what's going on good in my life and in the surroundings. And that's what I always see.
I want to tell you another positive spin.
Yeah.
Remember during COVID, there were a few shows that came out about the Film Yidden and whatever, and some of them were just so stupid.
Yeah.
But the Olam loved, I'm saying the anti-Semitic Olam,
Yeah.
loved it. They couldn't get enough of it. And everyone's stuck at home and everyone's watching this content. And obviously it wasn't lost on me the fact that why Dafka is it coming out now? Like the certain time that everybody's locked up, now comes out the anti-Semitic stuff, everybody watches it. But as someone who travels the world and ends up in communities that never met a Yid before, I realized something profound, that such a positive aspect to all of this negative media about us. You know, the New York Times articles, especially, like it was all the same, you know, the education and everything. I'm walking down the street. The person comes over to me. I'm sorry, can I ask you a question? Okay. You know, I saw this documentary the other day, and I hope I'm not coming across as disrespectful, but is it true? Like, people will ask me this.
Yeah.
Say, what's up with the Hasidic community in education? Like, is it really as bad as the New York Times says it is? Now, 10 years earlier, this person would have never come up to me because they had nothing to talk to me about. Because I was like a caricature out of a book that they couldn't relate to. Now I'm relatable. Why? Because the guy watched an entire season of a show dedicated to talking about how horrible we are. Right. So now I'm living in his head already for 2 years before he met me, and now I'm the first Hasidic Jew he ever met. He has a bunch of questions, and he wants, as long as I'm respectful, as long as I'm listening to him, and I understand his mindset. His mindset is not to be a hater. His mindset is coming from, he has questions that no one ever answered him, and this is the one chance he might have to get an answer, or maybe I'll call him a Nazi and storm off, and then he'll have a fun story to tell his buddies in the bar. But either way, if he has the courage to come over and even ask the question, then so fine.
That's a positive.
That's a positive, right? And that only happened because of all the negative attention we got. So you could use something that seems so negative and hurtful, but then you could
Yeah.
Convert. It's like you take an esrog. What's an esrog? An esrog has no value to anybody, but if you use it l'shay mitzvah,
It
you're
becomes
converting it into some,
$300.
and you're converting it into a positive experience.
Yeah. I love this. So you're a very positive person.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm actually, I'm very, I'm a huge pessimist,
You are?
of course. You know the difference between an optimist and a pessimist.
Tell me.
The pessimist says we live in the worst possible times, and the optimist is like, nah, it's gonna get much worse. So as an optimist bin ich, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I promised you a story.
Yeah. I want to hear the story.
This is a crazy story. I never shared this publicly, I don't think. I mean, I've said it in drushes, like when I speak publicly, I've said it sometimes, but I've never said it on a podcast, I don't think.
Okay.
And this is, I did a trip to Syria a couple of months ago.
Okay.
It's a couple of months ago. By now, it's been already, well, it's close to a year by now.
Okay. So Syria is an Arab country, right?
Look it up.
Okay.
What do you know about Syria?
I don't know.
You're new to this? When were you born?
It's Arab. It's yeah. No, it's a dangerous place.
Syria, you have to know.
Middle
You have
East,
to know
yeah,
what's going
country in the
on.
Middle East. The first thing that comes up is a tank.
Okay.
Putin still harboring Assad. Welcomes new Syrian leader to Moscow again. Trump gives Netanyahu a month for a Syria security deal. Okay. It's an Arab country. Scary place.
What happened with Assad? Who's Assad?
No. Is it the guy that was a terrorist and became president?
Well, that's the guy who's there now. Assad was the guy before him. Assad was the dictator.
Okay.
Him and his father have been ruling Syria for 50 years.
Okay.
There's a civil war, 2011.
But I'm completely out of the Middle Eastern
I'm
because
trying
it's
to
really
I'm trying
irrelevant
to bring
me.
you up to.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm interested in hearing. I'm just saying in general. I'm very, but
I
it's
picked
fine.
up
It's a
on
preference.
that. Yeah, that's fine.
Because I really don't think it's relevant. Like
Wait a moment. You want to understand the Nevi'is of Achar Sayyumam, you have to know
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on. There's so
Because
many
it-
Nevi'is about
then you
Syria,
connect
the
it.
Nevi'is about all the countries around it, Yisrael, of course.
Okay.
So, okay, this is going to take some background.
Okay.
Where do I even start?
First of all, your trip. You
Yeah,
went to
but
Syria.
I need to give you the background
Of what's happening there. There's a father and a son.
You had so. It's been a civil war starts in 2011.
Okay.
It's been a Jewish community that goes back thugths of years. Eliyahu Yanovi lived in Damascus.
Okay.
There's a shield that was built over the cave that Eliyahu Yanovi was behalten when he was hiding from Achav.
Okay.
Achav sent messengers over the entire world. They couldn't find him. He was hiding in a cave in Damascus. That cave became a shield. The shield stood for over 2,000 years. In 2014, in the middle of the Civil War, the shield was destroyed, and the whole neighborhood and around it, everything was completely destroyed.
Okay.
The name of the neighborhood is Jobar. So there had been Yidden living in Syria for thousands of years. And in 1992, the Yidden of Syria were issued passports for the first time. They didn't allow Yidden to have passports, so they didn't want the Yidden to move to Israel. In 1992, they said Yidden could have passports, and they could, so long as they don't move to Israel, they can move to America, anywhere else, whatever. And then the Syrian community basically got up and moved out. So to this day, there's 6, 7 Yidden in Damascus.
Okay.
So in the Mesach is buried the big tzaddik B'chaim Vital, Talmud of the Arizal. It's by Gruben dort. So we had this idea. It was in a group of Eden. We wanted to go and make a minyan on his Yutzat. His Yutzat was on a Monday. Why are you smiling?
Excited.
Okay.
It's where the action starts.
Yeah, it's going to be the first time in who knows how many years a minyan Eden was a Kaddish. Like, we were very excited.
Right.
A few days before our trip, we find out from one of our insiders in Syria, he sends us pictures from that was going around on the local WhatsApps, that some chevra broke into the kaiver. They dug a hole 6 feet 3 inches deep, and they were trying to steal Chaim Vital's body. Samasa.
Okay.
And the message was very clear: don't show up. Don't show up. Don't come to the kaiver.
Who gave this message?
Someone breaks into the kaivet a few days before we're supposed to make the first minyan on his yutzat in decades,
Right.
and they dig a hole and try to steal the kaivet
And they
as if
said,
they'd be able to, but
and they say, don't come.
no, they didn't have to say it. It was very clear it was a very clear threat.
Yeah.
So half the group said we're
out.
out, and the other half were like, okay, this is exactly why we need to be there. So
Wow.
we went down there, about 500,000.
Okay.
We put back all the sand. We were in touch with the chief rabbi in Yisrael about the bataluchas, like what to look out for, how to do it, whatever. We put everything back in. He was not moved. They dug in the wrong part. They dug on the side, and then they want l'chayda were going to dig under, but for whatever reason they dug 6 feet straight down, and then instead of digging to the side, they ran off. So we beefed up security, put cameras, whatever, everything, washed the whole thing down, made it look beautiful and sparkling. And I got a cameraman, Nishta Mishaluni. So we're going out, and there's a Yiddish Baisakfuris. And Baisakfuris it's filthy. There's like garbage everywhere, like because there's like a neighborhood. It's called the Jaramana neighborhood, and there's like a neighborhood overlooking the Baisakfuris. Most of the tombstones were destroyed. Okay. And then there's like, they throw garbage out their windows onto the Baisakfuris. So my cameraman asked me, he says, what are your thoughts right now? Like, right now you're here, what are you thinking? I said, I'm thinking that the kinds of people who are so hate-filled that they would throw garbage onto a cemetery without any regard for, like these people have no self-respect. And so long as they don't change their ways, they're never going to know a day of peace in their lives. You can't invite peace into your lives when you have such a disregard for others. Okay, Shane. We leave the cemetery, and we're driving down the streets, and then we see these the pickup trucks. Now you don't know what the pickup trucks are. There are these Toyota pickup trucks, and the back of the pickup trucks, you have these chevra with ski masks and AK-47s.
Yep.
Okay, so they're coming towards us. We're driving away, and they're coming towards us. And we're like, oh, that's so cool. We took pictures. It was very nice. I mean, it's an experience. It's a rush.
Okay.
We get back to the hotel, and check my phone, and one of my contacts that he's texting me. He's like, dude, there's major fighting going on right now between the government's forces and like the Bedouins, the Druze, whoever it was. I'm like, he's like, you gotta get down there right now. I'm like, okay, where? He's like, it's in the Jaramana neighborhood. And I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar. Like, who do I know that neighborhood? I checked my phone. Wait, we just came. We just left there.
Right.
He's like, well, fighting just started, and then like it was like 30-something people were killed that evening in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
It started right after we left. It was as if while we were there, like Muhammad was protecting us. Like there was like this invisible protection.
Yeah.
As soon as we left, all hell broke loose.
Right. Were you dressed up as a Jew or just the opposite? Were you?
You have to see.
Did you hide?
Is
there a video?
Yeah.
Where's the video?
I can send you a video. I didn't
post it?
I didn't release it. No. But I can tell. Okay, this is like a real scoop.
Yeah.
I was by the kaivet, and what did I daven for? Daven for something.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this this idea that if we can rebuild Eliyahu Yanuvi's shield, so the one that was destroyed in 2014, if we can get that shield rebuilt, the only way to do something like that would require the achdus of many different groups of Yidden with all kinds of interests or whatever. And also the cooperation of, the Arabs, locals, the government. It would need to take a massive, just a very big operation of Shulam and Achdus to be able to pull off such a job. So I said, Bashafer, I wanna be able to help, just bring more shalom to the world, and I want to build this by this not this by some Freudian slip. I want to build this Vismedish,
Yeah.
or at least I want to get the ball rolling, because there are people who want to do it,
Right.
but like, why hasn't that happened yet? So I said, this chis and the tzaddik, I'm going to make my shtadlis. The next morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, we got a meeting with the governor of Damascus. Now, Damascus doesn't have a mayor; they have a governor. A governor it's more powerful than a mayor. Damascus is more than just a city; it's like a province. So we have a meeting with the governor of Damascus, and the meeting lasts over 2 hours.
Mm.
The governor is very close with President al-Shara, and we were talking. Now he wanted to show that Syria it's a different Syria than Assad. It's a Syria that's more open to Eden. It's more whatever. This was his agenda. So I was with the group. So I said we had 500,000, and then we also had a few other people who joined the group that were not. So I wasn't part of the group. The group was like a group of Syrian American Jews, and I coordinated my trip to coincide together with them, and I did a few things together with them, and I did a few things without them. So I wasn't officially part of the group, but there was overlap. So there are Yidden that left in the 90s, and they had houses. What happened to their houses?
Okay.
Some of them, people moved in, took over. So now, you need paperwork. Where's the paperwork? Where's the documentation? Okay, ich weiß nicht, the Assad regime didn't keep good records, whatever it is. So the Yidden that they're trying to get back property. So they said, look, if you want to show Jews that you're serious about making them feel comfortable, you have to help them get their houses back, help them get their properties back. You have to preserve some of the Jewish heritage sites. Talking about historic heritage sites. You knew the shield. It's over 2,000 years old, like I said. So one of the things we said we want the government to help us to get us the permits, get us the blueprints. We want to rebuild the shield. So they said, we'd love to help you, but as much as we want, we says, first of all, we don't have any money. We don't need your money. Don't worry about the money. He says, yeah, but we can't build the shield if we don't build we have to build houses before we start building. We'll help you build the houses. That's not the problem. So they said, but we have sanctions. We're under sanctions. How are we going to do this? Well, we're under sanctions. Now, at the time, the U.S. government had put sanctions on Syria. The president of Syria had a $25 million bounty on his head or something. Maybe it was only 10. I don't know. I don't want to disrespect him if it was 10 and then I'll blow it up, or if it was higher and then I'll say it's a lower number. Whatever it was a nice amount of millions of dollars.
Okay.
From back when, because he started out with ISIS, Al-Qaeda. He broke away from them, opened his own group that was a lot more attuned to civilian life. Basically, the machloikis was ISIS would show up to a town, they'd wipe out the town, and then they'd start planning to attack the next town. And he said he was like one of their commanders, and he said, "What are you doing? What about the people that are under your?" He's like, "Allah will take care of those people." He's like, "No, you have a basic responsibility to take." He's like, "Bistana pikoidis." Didn't you hear what I said? Allah will take care of them. He's like, "Yeah, but if you show the other towns that you're taking care of your own people and you're building up life and infrastructure and everything, then you're going to have a much easier time with the next town because they'll see that you care about them." He says, Allah's going to give us the next town also. He's like, I can't deal with these people. So he started his own group called Al-Nusra. Later, he made a coalition of a bunch of different groups, HTS, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. I've been tracking him since, going back to 2014. So I had already written articles about him 10 years ago. I already knew about this guy. So for me, it was very interesting watching his transition, and the reason why I'm a little optimistic about him. And there have been some things in the news lately that makes it harder and harder to be optimistic. But the reason this is a guy who already had a target on his back from the Assad regime, from Putin, from the U.S. government, from Al Qaeda, ISIS, every single terror group, Turkey, every person there wanted to kill him.
Okay, and he
and
still.
and he believed so strongly in in his ideology that he was willing to start an unprovoked fight with ISIS and Al Qaeda at a time when everybody was already gunning for him. So I was like, if this guy, you actually speak a lot of the words. If he was going to do that at that time, I think that there's someone like there's something to be hopeful for.
Yeah.
Okay. Le Mans Cigarette, they said we can't do anything without sanctions. Like, how are you going to get building material in? How are you going to get anything if there's sanctions? So, and then one guy from our group, the governor was able to arrange a meeting with Ashara for us, but only one person from our group was able to meet him.
Okay.
So it was the guy who met him. We spoke about like what the basic messaging, like what we wanted to give over to him, and he sat down with him for a good 3 hours.
Wow.
That same night.
Yeah.
This is like we're talking about the night after we were by the kaiver of Chaim Vital. He sits down with him. He gives over all of the everything that we want to give over. He says he's going to be very helpful. He'll help us build up the shield, but now was not yet the right time. He had other priorities. We understood that, and he said, "But Le Mans Cigarette, with the sanctions, we can't do anything." So the Chaver in our group now there's going to be certain things that I can't share with you yet, but you can read between the lines. You're smart to figure it out. See, if you even understood the whole thing with the sanctions and everything with Syria, as the genoeg kicking, you'll find out later. I'll tell you, even to the extent, the government was not using computers almost at all. They did not have almost any computers. Offices, yet there were calculators, pens and pads of paper in government offices. The airport, I think the only computer I saw in the airport was by the currency exchange.
Wow.
They had a computer and a printer that to print out the receipts. And that's where they print out the visas by the currency exchange.
Yeah.
So it was like they couldn't get stuff in.
Yeah.
And you saw like there's no like mechanic shop. There was one guy that sells 50 mufflers that were smuggled in from Reisvi. There's another guy who sells like hubcaps. Like
so it's very third world.
They were just trying to. It's not even third world. They were just trying to survive. They just had overthrown a dictator. They have a new government that doesn't have a lot of experience. The Assad people just burned whatever they could and fled.
What's happening like in Iran? Is it like a similar situation out there?
No, Iran's a lot worse.
Why?
Because the instability and the unpredictability. At least here you had a government that was trying to function. But nobody was helping them, and they didn't have experience, and they didn't have the governments with experience willing to work with them because of the sanctions.
And Iran is by default not structured or corrupt.
Right now, it's unstable, but otherwise they have whatever 40 plus years of experience running a totalitarian regime. So it's in a way more structured, but now it's way more unstable. There, it wasn't so unstable, like but at the same time, things were in danger of just falling apart. Like the government wasn't able to make payroll.
Right.
You had people, street cleaners, just people walking the streets, picking up wrappers and whatever, trying to make the street look nice, and the government couldn't afford to pay them. You had teachers, the government couldn't afford to pay them. I saw a line of people lined up outside an ATM machine, waiting to get their paycheck, and then the ATM machine says, sorry, out of funds. And these people have been waiting for 2 months. So we said, we'll make our stadlus. And so the people from our group made a couple of phone calls, and I know which person had the breakthrough. Someone got through to someone of the Trump administration. I'm not going to say the name now. And that individual had a way of presenting it to Trump in a way that he believed Trump would be inclined to say yes.
Okay.
He did it. It worked. I was with Trump in Saudi Arabia 2 weeks later. when he announced that he's lifting sanctions, and then the next day he met with the president of Syria. This is 2 weeks after we were by Vital's Kaivet.
Yeah.
And this is, and again, I'm saying I know which of the people in my group actually pulled it off.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously you know what happened next. The government, I mean, first of all, everybody took credit for it. Everybody took credit for it. They all had parades and patted themselves on the back. And it was great. I mean, not like we still have a relationship with them, but nothing concrete came from it yet.
Right. I mean, there's no building of the shul yet.
No, yeah, nothing has moved on that as far as I'm aware.
Right.
But look, we're making our stadlus, we're trying, and when you make your stadlus on something like that and you don't see results right away, a lot of times it's an indication that actually Klal Yisrael is not great.
Yeah.
So, Beshev is giving us time to get into a more comfortable place.
Right.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
But I met a Mekibel. His name is Rab David Pinto.
Yeah.
Ich habe gelernt mit einem Sefer Avadia, the Benai Sascher, Klairoim. And I mentioned to him about this story about Syria with the Kaiva of Eliyahu Nuvi. And he told me something very interesting. He says he heard something years ago. He does not remember what he says. For over 20 years, he's looking for Muchy for this, and he still didn't find it. But he says he remembers hearing somewhere that when Eliyahu Nuvi comes back to be Mvasa de Ge'ila, one of the first, I think the first place he'll stop, or maybe the place where he'll come down to first, is going to be his shield in Damascus.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Because Baruch Chaim tells Kaivet, it felt so real.
Yeah.
And he's telling me for 20 years he's looking for Muchy for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's all connected.
Yeah, Manish, really is.
Wow. So you have a real passion for uncovering Jewish spots, traveling to crazy places. It's oftin.
That's Shlomi Zion's passion. That's
Yeah. Right.
But lately there are a lot of Yidden that are doing this. Even a lot of the Yiddish magazines have started sending Chevra around to travel to all these interesting places. And I tell them what my father told me. The Baal Shem Tov on Parshas Lech Lecho, I think it's Simon Chof Bais, I believe. It's Baal Shem Ala Torah. So let me tell you the backstory.
Yeah.
I was in a place called Karabakh. Karabakh is in a place called Azerbaijan. It's a small Muslim country sandwiched between Russia on top and Iran in the bottom. When the president of Iran, when his helicopter crashed, it was right on the border between Azerbaijan and Iran. So Karabakh, for over 30 years, was occupied by a separatist government that basically declared independence, and nobody recognized them. Not a single country in the world. And it was surrounded by mountains. So the international community recognized it as Azerbaijani territory. But the majority of people living in that Sheitach, which is a little bigger than the size of Maryland, most of the people there were ethnic Armenians. And so they ended up expelling all non-Armenians. So the Armenian population was, let's say, 60%. It went up to 99%. And they declared themselves their own country.
Yeah.
And shine. But to Azerbaijan, it was the occupied territories of Karabakh. Why? How did I get involved? Because I was looking for a Bukhar, Azerbaijani Bukhar, that the story goes he was taken captive in 1992, 93, the first war between Azerbaijan and Armenia after the collapse of the Soviet Union. So he's taken into captivity into that region. Now that region is close to the world, and there's no one to talk to because they don't have a recognized government. You can't even Like there's no like foreign minister or whatever. Like there's no one you could no ambassadors. So the place was completely cut down to the world. So 2 years ago, Azerbaijan, and the reason Azerbaijan couldn't take it over is because Armenia had an alliance with Russia. So Russia had a few thousand soldiers over there. But as the war in Ukraine started, going a little south for them, Azerbaijan took the guts, and the Fashaina took, well, each side claims the other side started shooting first. They went in, they took over the entire place in less than 24 hours. The 120,000 people or whatever who were living there, they all fled to Armenia, and Azerbaijan let them get out.
Right.
And then, I mean, they offered the people living there citizenship, but they're like,
they didn't want to stay.
They're like, yeah, we remember what we did to your grandparents, and we know you'll do the same to us. So no way, whatever. They got out quickly, and then so that's when I was able to launch my investigation into trying to find the book. So I was there a few times. We did a few different searches. We made progress. We never got there. We were working with some reports that he had been seen, eyewitnesses that claim that have seen him working as a slave in a certain location. So we went to a few of the locations where he'd been seen over the years.
This a Yiddish Bucher?
Yeah, Yiddish Bucher, yeah.
Why was he? How did he get there?
No, his family lived there. His family were Azerbaijani Jews.
Right.
He was a member of I believe the police force or whatever.
So he's like fachab there now, basically.
He was
like he's stuck, trapped, kidnapped.
Yes, but when the whole population emptied out, it was the first time we were able to get in and start searching.
And we didn't find anything.
We didn't find him yet. But we didn't give up either.
Right. You never know.
You never know, exactly.
He doesn't know that you're looking for him, probably. Maybe
he could have gotten out and who knows, years ago, and it's in some remote village with a family and has no connection to, who knows?
To the world, right. Wow.
Yeah. So here's why I'm telling you the story.
Yeah.
In the major city of Karabakh, it's called Khankandi.
Mm-hmm. And
Khankandi there's a very famous monument on top of a mountain. It's like a statue, two faces, one triangle and another like rectangle, and built out of stone, beautiful. And so I made a cheshbon that nobody in history probably ever dive on the top of that mountain. Here's why.
Okay.
Because before the Soviet era, the mountain was insignificant. It was just like a little mountain.
Yeah.
Okay. Then during the Soviet era, that's when they built these two monuments, and that's when it became an attraction.
Right.
But during communism, no one would have gone up on the mountain to daven.
Right. Wow.
Then when the Soviet Union collapsed, this was taken over by the separatists, and no Yidden lived there. It was 99.7% ethnic Armenian.
Yeah.
So no one would have gone up the mountain to daven. And now, since it was liberated by Azerbaijan, the place is like, I was one of the first Westerners to get access there. So I said, wow, this is an opportunity. So I went up, put on Talis and film, I davened there. I felt a very powerful connection.
Nice.
I come down from the mountain. I get a call from my father. And he had no idea that I was up there. He says, I want to share with you interesting about my father, by the way. He doesn't like when I say this, so I'm not going to say it. But
amazing. Okay.
First time.
Yeah.
He says, it's a very interesting Bashem. He says, why do Yidden sometimes have to travel? And this is the lesson that I give over to other Heimische journalists that travel around the world. He says, there's one reason why Yid has to travel. You think you're traveling for panusa, for meetings, for this, for that. He says the only reason Yid has to travel is to be mesaken tzaitzis.
Wow.
How are you mesaken tzaitzis? He says, you go in a place, you daven there. Sometimes you could be the first Yid that ever daven there.
Yeah.
You're davening there, you bring down the tzaitzis. You could even saying a brucha sometimes is all the place needs. My father's telling me right as I'm coming down from the mountain.
Yeah, it's impressive.
So that really, like, it reinforced how powerful it is, and
you attracted it.
And we but we see that Yidden who have this, like, if you want to travel the world, guys, I want to give you some advice. If you want to travel the world, have the mindset that you're going because you want to make a Kiddush Hashem, you want to bring down the tzaitzis, and then look for a media outlet that can benefit from you traveling to this particular place, and they'll cover your expenses for you. And then you get to go there, and you get to make a Kiddush Hashem, and you get to be Misaka, whatever needs to be Misaka in there. We have these opportunities today.
Yeah. What's with the in Kherson? What's with the war in Ukraine? What's Russia fighting for? What's Ukraine fighting for? And can Trump fix it? Yeah, I'm not into stuff.
No,
So
Trump's not going to fix it. I don't think. I'll be very surprised if.
what is
they,
Russia wants a new piece of Ukraine, and Ukraine is basically fighting back.
No. How much time do we have? Okay.
I have time.
I mean, it's referenced in Sefer Avadia, the Russia, Ukraine, every all the major things are happening in the world right now. So you have to look up one of my shirim, Turx Avadia, search it, watch one of the shirim, and then you'll see where Ukraine fits into all this. From a geopolitical standpoint, Kiev, capital of Ukraine, Kiev, was the original capital of Russia.
Mm-hmm.
The people there were called the Kievan Rus.
Okay.
So to Russians, Kiev is their original capital.
Okay.
The way they look at it is that the Ukrainians corrupted the language a little bit, called themselves a nationality, and said, we want our own country. And to Russia never accepted this.
Mm-hmm.
The Ukrainian people are like, what are you talking about? We were a distinct people with our own culture, with our own everything for centuries. Tachvatat, what was Tachvatat? Tachvatat was a Ukrainian bid for independence from Poland.
Mm.
Poland conquered, they were one of two empires to successfully conquer Russia. They conquered Moscow and held on to it for like 2 years.
Okay.
And then afterwards, the Russians were like, okay, we gotta create a buffer between us and Poland. So they armed the peasants of Ukraine, and they sent them, riled them up. And then the Ukrainians started this war of independence. Now, before that, Poland was the Commonwealth of Poland-Lithuania was the most powerful empire in Europe. Believe it or not, Poland was for centuries, like up until that point. And most Jewish communities believed that Poland would be able to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
Poland had a brilliant system. Because you had the Pudits, the feudal system, you had Pudicim. Every Pudits was responsible to maintain their own mercenary army.
Okay.
To protect his territory, and then the king had his own army. So Poland had a double army, and that made them very powerful in that time.
In terms of security and safety.
However, when Tachvatat were like, oh, these rabbles with pitchforks, the Polish army, we'll take Poland, and that's why most Jewish communities sided with Poland, and we know what happened to Tachvatat. So Ukraine wanted independence going back even before then.
Right.
And what happened after Tachvatat? Russia was like, thank you very much. And you're independent. You're now independently part of Russia. They're like, no, we wanted our own country. Russia's like, yeah, you're back to your own country, Russia. This is what we made up. They're like, no, we were supposed to be our own.
Who, to Ukraine?
Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine wanted to become their own entity.
Correct.
And Russia was like, yeah, you're your own entity with us now.
Correct, because we armed you.
Because we were always you. We helped you overthrow Poland because we were always the same country.
Correct.
And Ukraine is like, no, we weren't. We're different.
So that's still going on till now?
Till this day. 1991 is the first time that Ukraine got actual independence. There was like a few months here, there, like Ukraine declared independence, like World War II for like a little keep. But this is the first time that Ukraine actually got independence.
And now they're still fighting for it.
Russia never acknowledged, even they claimed but they never recognized Polish Ukrainian independence.
Right.
So to them, it's not about taking back Donbass. To them, it's taking the entire Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ukrainians know this. That's why they're fighting to their death, because they know that he took Crimea, he took the Donbass, he's not stopping.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he stops now, they'll continue as soon as they're able to.
So Russia wants literally the whole Ukraine to themselves, and then he'll take the people and whatever. And I'm you're part now of Russia.
Whatever he'll do to the people, we could already imagine what he'll do to the people.
And why? So why is Trump meeting with Zelensky multiple times? And
because Trump wants to bring peace to the world.
Right.
It was a campaign promise. He said he'll do it. He believed he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't think it's going to happen because, as you see in Avadia, the Russia-Ukraine war is a distraction so that Edom shouldn't focus on the real threat, which is the Ganuvim and Shoida Delilah that they're letting into their own countries,
Yeah.
and these people are going to wipe them out. The people that they're letting into their own countries will wipe them out when they're at their peak of power. But the whole
Yeah.
Russia-Ukraine is a distraction.
What's your opinion on the whole ICE raid, by the way? Like, it sounds like they shot somebody for nothing. I mean, that's from what I've seen, my perspective.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, yes.
Yeah.
Until you consider that guy had already been engaged in violent confrontations with ICE in the past. Yeah,
Yeah, but violent confrontations is not a reason to papow somebody.
Until, again, I'm not, I mean, ICE destroyed Rubashkin, so I'm not here to defend ICE.
Yeah.
At the same time, the kind of people that they are targeting and should be targeting are the kind of people that requires a lot of force and a lot of achzudiousness to expel them from this country.
Right.
You know, the activists are not protecting the the poor workers at Home Depot looking for to support their family. They're out there protecting the criminals and fraudsters in Minneapolis. That's why that's who they're trying to block.
Yeah, but a lot of people are saying that they're just getting anybody, and they're not actually getting real criminals.
Because it's easier. They have to show that they're getting a certain number of people. So when you come to Minneapolis and the mayor and the governor are sicking the people against you, and then the professional provocateurs show up in force and they try to prevent you from making arrests, then they're going to have to fill the quotas. What are they going to do? They'll go to the Home Depot. But how come the activists are not protecting the actual innocent poor workers from ICE? They're only protecting the criminals from ICE because the criminals are able to help fund whatever it is. There's a lot of chazarai going on over there. So if
you're saying the Minneapolis government, in a sense, the leadership over there wants criminals there.
No, it's not that they want criminals. It's that their whole way of looking of framing it, if I want to be very charitable, is they're trying to protect, like, innocent until proven guilty. We're not letting you take anybody from.
Why?
But what I'm very concerned, and a lot of people are concerned, is actually happening is that these people who are running these fraudulent daycares, who took millions of dollars from the government, they have enough money to send around to get activists who don't chap that they're being used, to get them and to put them into the face of ICE, hope that a few people get killed, there's public uproar, and now ICE has to go focus somewhere else where they're not going to get this kind of scrutiny.
Correct. Let me ask you, you're an actual journalist. You know and speak to people far closer to the, I can almost say, truth. Do you think Trump is an actual good president, or you think that he's more like good because he's like more one of us, so his roots into see good is stronger? You have my question?
Yeah, this is going to take a few hours. I really, there's so much. It's not.
Because that's my opinion. But in the question, I basically told you my opinion. I don't think he's a good president. Like, it's impossible he should be a good president when he was never president or doesn't have experience in politics. I do think he's a good human being. It's like if I become president tomorrow, yeah, I would do a very good job. Not because I'm a politician, but because I believe I want the best for my country. That's what I believe in Trump.
Yeah, but everybody you're going to be dealing with pretty much is going to want the best for themselves, which usually comes at the expense of the best for the country.
Okay.
So how are you navigating them?
Right. So he's also a toughie, and he has a lot of experience in different areas. So I believe in him. I'm rooting for him. Okay, but I don't think he's a good. But I don't think he's a good president.
But to finish the answer about the ICE thing, so if you work for ICE and you have, this is your personality, and your job is to go in and find these criminals and get them out of the country, and now you're being blocked by these activists, these professional provocateurs, who clearly are not trying to help America by protecting these criminals. And again, I'm not talking about when they go after innocent people. I'm talking about the criminals that they're trying to. So when they see this guy who's gotten confrontational before, and now he has a gun on him, what do you think's going to happen? I'm sorry, it's heartbreaking, it's very sad, but what in the world do you think is going to happen? That's why I teach my kids two things. I say, never throw a rock at an Israeli soldier. and never get in the way of an ICE official when they're trying to make an arrest.
Right.
Is that
Right.
basic alibis, right? They should be
Right.
teaching this in Cheder.
Yeah.
Hello, v'chai behem. You want to live? Don't be stupid. Don't show up with a gun, even if you didn't pull it out. But like, yes, you have a right to that gun. Wonderful, fine. But Nitzan Cycle, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you trying?
Right. Your stupid mistake caused you to get killed.
Yeah,
Simple.
these guys are. Why are they trigger happy? Because of all the threats that they face. You know, the cop who pulls you over for speeding or whatever, he has no idea if the person who's about to roll down the window is going to pull a gun and shoot him in the face. He does not know this, but he knows that this has happened to people, and it is right at the forefront of his mind every time he shows up to your window. So there are different techniques, different things you can do to mitigate those. You know, they say to play up the cop, like he sees himself also as a hero helping the little guy,
Yeah.
but he also has this fear, what if that guy is trying to kill me?
Right.
So if you could play up the hero part
100%.
and downplay like the
threat.
threats, Mush will have your hands always visible.
They always
so you
say
see
that.
where your
Open
hands
the
are, right?
windows,
Have
open the
have the
light.
light on. If you have to take something out of the glove compartment, open it, move back so he can see what's in the glove compartment. And then if you're taking something out of your pocket, your license, say,
Tell them what I'm
I'm taking my license out of my pocket now. And then you do it very slowly with your hands open. Don't make any sudden movements.
Because the arm is shagum out there.
The arm is shagum, and you don't want to. So
And respect to them goes a long way.
yeah, so
That's,
it's very easy for us to look at the video and
versus
be
challenging it.
outraged.
Yeah.
I was outraged when I saw the video. I also understood that this was very avoidable, and he put them in a very tough spot. And when they're put in a very tough spot, bad things happen.
Right. Wow.
Okay.
What's our prediction from the B'nai Yissaschar?
Yeah, so this is the last part. B'nai Yissaschar in Chodesh Udar. Now, the thing with these predictions is one day this is going to happen. We don't know when this is going to happen. We don't know if it's going to be this year or not. But if it's going to be this year, it's going to be very, very cool.
Okay.
If it's going to be in a future year, then we'll refer back to it then.
Okay.
There are two ways Mashiach can come, Be'ita or Achashana. Achashana means Mashiach comes earlier than the designated time because Klal Yisrael did reach the level of Chivi we're supposed to. Shmira Shabbos 2 times consecutively, the whole Klal Yisrael, whatever, right? So then there's Achashana, then there's Be'ita, which is like if you run out the clock, the time, and Be'ita means Mashiach ben Yosef, that's like Kiddush Hashem. That's okay. So Zukter, now we're about 30 days before Purim.
Yep.
So he says on Purim, Shloishim Yoim Doshim Hilchas Pesach. So Freikter, what is the significance of Dorshim the Hilchas Pesach that you start on Purim? He says you don't see other Yom Tovim like that. 30 days before Shvius, you don't start learning Hilchas Shvius. What is the significance of these 30 days before Pesach that's so unique? Zukter Azoi. I'm going to try to do it bekitzer. The Olam could look it up. Mamure Chodesh Adar Mama Dalid. Okay? He says, Hine ledati tisboinen lumu shloish yimam daike. What's behind these 30 days? Ki hine netztavni al mechias amulek shloish mitzvahs mimini tayag. We have 3 mitzvahs of mechias amulek. Machshova, Dibir, and Masa. Okay? You have to loy sishkach, zuchar, v'hoy b'niach. So there are 3 different Lashonis. One is, he says, in these 30 days, there are 720 hours. So 720 hours is begematria amulaik 3 times.
Okay.
1 for the dibur, 1 for the masa, 1 for the machshava. Zokter, the last war against Amulek, right before Mashiach. So we're going to have this Mulchum against Amulek. We're not going to be able to defeat them. Now this is in Noivadia, this is in many Nevi'im, talks about the war against Amulek, the war against the Plishtim. we're not going to be able to defeat them. And Chazal say each Shaivit is going to start, Reuven's going to come and say, let me wipe out Amalek, and Hashem will say, go ahead. He'll try. Shimon's going to try. We're going to try everything we can. Bunker busters, this, that, evacuation, duda, nothing is going to work. You take out Iran in 12 days, you take out Hezbollah at the beep of a beeper, and your own backyard, you still haven't made a dent in Hamas. What's pshat? So they say, until Yosef. Yosef is the only one, and Yosef will wipe them out. Chik-chak. Mashiach ben Yosef, Mashiach ben David. Spirit of Rebbe that talks about it. About he gives a very interesting simon of what the world's going to look like during this milchuma against Amalek. So he says, so what are the three wars that we're fighting against Amalek? There's the masa. Masa is like the practical war on the battlefield.
Yeah.
There's the dibir, that's a social media war. And then there's the machshava, which is in our own minds. We're like, are we the good guys? Could we have been doing things differently? Why do they hate us? We're second guessing. We're making cheshbonis. He says these are the three wars. Machshava, dibir, masa. 3 wars against Amalek. So, Zukter, that he brings a few other cheshbonis here. And he brings down a zoyer. He says that the last war against Amalek is going to finish on Erev Pesach. And he says, go back 720 hours before Pesach, and that is Purim. He says, Haschule b'yom ha-Purim, v'hasiyim v'gmar be'erev Pesach. Hein haimu, tov shi'en chof shuas, benin shloish b'umam Amalek, v'vatel shi'e koimis ha-klipa, mikol v'kol b'machshova, dibir v'masa. And the Maral Prague on Sefer Evadia, he says that just like we start cleaning the house for Pesach much before Pesach, the Bashefer is going to clean up the world from Amalek much before Pesach, so that by the time Pesach starts, the whole world will be clean of the klippas of Amalek.
Yeah.
So, right now, there is a state of a ceasefire between the Israelis and Hamas. But we know the Hamas keeps saying they're going to launch another October 7th as soon as they're able to.
Okay.
Let's see if and we're going to know very soon, within a couple of weeks, we're going to know if this year a final war against Hamas is going to start Purim and finish out of Pesach.
Wow.
And according to the Pirkei Rebbe Lezer, in Mem Daled. No, Lamed Aleph. So,
And you say Amalek is Hamas?
He says, well, I can tell you what Amalek is. No, it's more than just Hamas. He says there's going to be 3 wars of terror that's going to happen right before Mechemes Gog and Magog. The Esh is going to be, my understanding is the first one first October 7th. He says the second war is going to be by Yam in the sea. So let's see if there's going to be a war by Yam
In the next
Purim,
few days, weeks.
in a month from when we're talking.
Impressive. So who is Amalek?
Who's Amalek? There are 3 nations that have a haftucha that they're going to be around until Mashiach comes, and then they're going to be destroyed by Mashiach.
Okay.
Amalek is one of them. Milchum al Hashem Amalek midor doir. Yodol kais ka. Kisakubit is not complete until Amalek's wiped out.
Okay.
The second folk is the Plishtim. The Bnei Sascha brings down that the Pusik right before Akaides Yitzchak says that Vayugar Avrum be'eretz Plishtim yom rabim vahi achar devurim hu ayla v'alekim nisavrum. So what's the connection?
Yeah.
I put on the gatel, ich greib mich tief for the Heilige Akkaide, and now you're telling me that he lived in the Eretz Plishtim yom rabim? I need to know this why. Zuk the Bashefa showed Avrom Avini. It's going to get back to the Netzoitzes. It ties in very well. He says, Avrom, I want you to see what Gulis is going to look like for throughout all generations. And Avrom noticed that there's one folk that by every Gulis we're in, they were always the problem. Who? The Plishtim. The Kimteros Mitzrayim, the Plishtim are in the way. The Chorban Beis Hamikdash, either trying to run away to safety, the Plishtim take us captive, and they wipe us out. And he says every generation. Now, in his times, there was no Plishtim, there were no Palestinians when the Menai Yitzchak lived. But he said each Gulis, the Plishtim are going to be a force.
Wow.
And Avrom Avini looked at the Plishtim, and he says the Plishtim is begematria 10 times Elikim. Elikim is Midas Adin. So 10 refers to the 10, corresponds to the 10 spheres. So the Plishtim have a koyach that is able to overcome all 10 spheres on Midas Adin. And Avrom Avini says, how in the world are my kinderlich going to be able to survive this gulas against the Plishtim?
Yeah.
So the Bashefa said, let me show you. We're going to do the Akaida now, and the Akaida is going to protect you.
Wow.
Why is Yishmuel, like, why are they suicide bombing themselves? Because they're like, wait, you're going back 4,000 years to the Akaida? I'm going to kill myself right now, Allah. I'll kill my whole family. But the Eibusha says, Yam Uretz, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to kill your kid. What's the idea of Akaida Yitzchak?
There was an Asoyan.
Yes, but what was the Eibusha trying to do? The Bashefa wollte gesagt, Welt, don't sacrifice your children, don't do it. Let's say the Eibusha would have bought 1,000 billboards. Thou shalt not sacrifice your child. Nobody would have looked, nobody would have remembered it. Instead, the Eibusha says, Avrom Avini, it was like as a marketing technique. It says, Avrom Avini, take your son as a prop, bring him up the barg, create him his bayach, take the messer, and Avrom is like, yes, sir. He goes up there and does it, and he's about to shecht and says, now don't shecht your son. And the lesson is, do not sacrifice your children. Raise your children. Never sacrifice your children. The Eibusha had to do it in a way that would resonate.
Dramatic, yeah.
That people, had to be dramatic, and that's why we still talk about it. That's why we still remember it. But to the Arabs, like, oh, I'll kill myself. No, that's avodah zura. Don't do it.
Right.
Don't sacrifice your children for PR points.
Right.
That's why we have this chesed HaKadosh that we raise our children and we will sacrifice ourselves so that our children could live.
Right.
And that's the power of HaKadosh Yitzchak.
Right. I never thought about it that way.
Right? It makes it so real, and when you understand it in the context of today's. So back to who's Amulek. You have he sees the Plishtim as being an indestructible force until Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
And the third group is Yishmuel, because Avrom Avinu gave Yishmuel a very special power. He said, the Eibusha says, I'm giving you a baby, I'm giving you Yitzchak. And Avrom Avinu says, Bashefer, that's such a massive ness. Li Yishmuel yechel lefonecho. So Yishmuel chivatin. Klai Yisrael should come from Yishmuel. And the Eibusha says, you know what? This is a very sincere tefillah. The tefillah of Atat that says Anzin. Yes, Yishmuel v'chivatin. And Yishmuel is going to have the koyach of tefillah. Yishmuel is going to have, they're going to be able to connect to the Bashefer in a way that no other nation is able to connect to. That's why the only two nations that have the Bashefer in them, Yisruel and Yishmuel. Yishmuel. We came to Yishmuel, while the Bashefer got hidden the tefillah from Klai Yisrael ba'achas hayomim.
Right.
His name wasn't Shumakail, that the Eibishter heard the tefillah of Hugad. It's Yishmukail, that the Eibishter will hear the tefillahs of the Eden in the future. So you have Yishmuel, indestructible. Amulek, indestructible. Plishtim, indestructible. And now the three of them, not now, the time of Sancheriv. Sancheriv took 10 Felkid, he mished them around. 3 of the 10 Felkid were Yishmuel, Amulek, and the Plishtim. Mm-hmm. So you have these, of the 10 nations, you have 3 nations embedded within 7 others that have this indestructible force, and we're still dealing with them to this day. We can't get rid of them.
Who is Amulek?
So they're all mixed together.
Uh-huh. And
Who's
Yishmael is I guess the Iran or something like that.
I'm talking about in the context of no, Iran is not Yishmael at all. Iran was forcibly converted
So who's
to Islam.
Yishmael?
The Ben Ish Chai has an interesting piece about why did Iran become. This is going too long already, I'm afraid. But is look though Iran flaked his on over the Zura. Why did they? Why was it the Bashaf's plan that they should be forcibly converted to Islam? Zukter, so it's Dua Gamura. It talks about what's going to happen, the war between Edom and Puras. I see the Puras Lipol be Edomi. Puras is going to fall to the hands of Rome. It looks like there's a machloikis. It looks like one Shita says that Rome is going to win the war, and another Shita seems to say that Puras is going to win the war.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be both. That Puras is going to be Lipol Biad Roimi, and then the Gemara says that Roimi is going to be Nespashat al Emend of Bu Asashat, Nespashat Machas Roimi Rishu al Kala Oilam Kila Tisha Chadushim. Nan Chadushim, Edom has the entire world under its control.
Right.
So Iran falls, Venezuela, Cuba, everything, whatever. And then after those 9 months, Puras goes and is machal of a big part of the world.
Wow.
So
Big
yeah.
stuff. Wow. I feel like I still have so much to cover.
We didn't even get to Ivadi. Can you believe it?
Didn't get to Ivadi.
There's
Didn't
so
get
much.
to the White House.
We can talk about the White House. I still didn't answer your question about Trump.
Oh.
Chavre, listen, I'm one person, and we don't have a lot of time. Open a nach and start learning. You're going to see what's happening. If you're already following the news anyway, see where it connects. Learn the Agadat Gemuris that talk about what's going to happen in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I do want to cover for a second Trump and the White House.
Let's talk about the White House.
Finish it up. Get to the bathroom for a second. You want to do a sound check? Well, you want to check the sound if it's coming in good?
Yeah. Time. Yeah.
Okay, so to close it up, what do you think? I don't know how long this close-up will take. I'm going to try to keep it 10 minutes.
Okay.
What do you think of Trump? How do you see him? You've met him in person. You've asked him questions. You see the insiders. You're in the White House. You're seeing the real. Yeah. It's no hidden. We're all watching it as if it's happening in a movie. You're there. What do you see?
Wow. Trump was put on at a very unique time in history because he has a ticket to be Misakin.
Okay.
And this is what his entire life has led up to. Everything he experienced in his life was to prepare him for this. For example, why was he dealing so much with fake news? I mean, this guy came from media.
Right.
He should have been a natural friend of media, and he expected media to love him.
Right.
And he couldn't understand why media just suddenly became so villained against him, and fake news, all of these fake made-up stories about him. Why do you think that much to put him through all this?
Okay.
So that by the time October 7th happens and all of the fake stories come out against Eden, he should already recognize it for what it is.
Wow.
If you study Trump's life, I mean, you can do this with any world leader, I imagine. But we know so much about Trump, which is why it's so like we can understand it better because he's such an open book.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to understand why he is where he is, and if you also know, like you learn certain Kabbalah sfurim that I'm only 39, so for me, because I'm not allowed to do it, that's why I'm excited to do it. And you see about certain ideas that talks about things that are going to happen before the Ge'illah, then, and how every single thing just matches
what's happening now.
What Chazal said.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'll come straight out and I'll say this is not my own shtickle Torah. This is either Mendel Kessen. He puts out shirim on the Ramchal. He's doing this he's been teaching the Ramchal's Furim for I think 50 years already. Maybe more, probably more. So about 2015, 2016, he noticed, he saw some of the Sfurim of Ramchal and his Talmidim, that it talks about Leusid Luva, before Mashiach comes. So you had Yaakov and Esav. That's where the story begins. It starts with Yaakov and Esav. Esav, as we know, well, many of us don't know this, Esav was supposed to be a tzaddik. Esav had the chida to be a Rusha.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be a tzaddik. Yitzchak believed he was still a tzaddik. And he was supposed to marry Leah. He was supposed to have 6 of the Shvutim. And Klal Yisrael was supposed to be Yaakov and Esav. Yaakov sits in the Getzel, learns Torah. Esav goes out into the field, brings back food for Yaakov. Then he hits the gym and goes to the shooting range. And he protects Yaakov from his enemies. And then he goes out at night and he brings the neshamas back to Klal Yisrael, puts film on them and everything. That was supposed to be the role of Esav. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that because Esav was dealing with the Esav...
You're questioning if we're still talking about Trump?
Oh, this is going to be such a plot twist to you then.
Okay.
So Esav goes out, and because he's supposed to fight the Yetzer Hara, he became a little bit too comfortable with the Yetzer Hara.
Okay.
So Rivka says, okay, he can't have the bruchas. He'll gamble the bruchas away. He's gonna abuse them.
Right.
Yitzchak's like, no, the bruchas will protect him. Rivka's like, no, he's lost. Yankov, come and see the bruchas. Yankov is like, Hala Shemayim, Shmane Uret, sitzen lernen, I don't even know what these things mean. She's like, Kibid Aim, you don't have a choice. Take it. He's like, okay, fine, he's scared. Kol Yankov, Daim da Esav. Esav's fuming mass. Okay, he cries. Esav dies without doing tshiva. Now, there's a tan on Yaakov. If Dina would have married Esav, he would have been chayzer b'tshiva. Leah also been chayzer b'tshiva. Why? Why is Chazal so harsh on Yaakov Avini for the fact that Dina didn't marry Esav? Because Esav didn't go to chayda. He never knew that there's a thing called tshiva. He didn't know. He thought, okay, my parents think I'm a Rusha, so this is who I am. And he never knew. No one told him.
Wow.
He gets killed, contesting Muris Machpaila. His neshama comes up in Shemayim, and my shefa says, Esav, you're one of the most powerful neshamas in Klal Yisrael. Half of Klal Yisrael was supposed to come from you. Esav's like, yeah, what do you want? They called me the troublemaker. I had such a hard job. Yankov sits in the air-conditioned Getzel, and I have to go out and have to do so many different jobs, and it was so much harder, and I didn't even have the bruchas to protect me. And the Aibusha says, but Esav, why didn't you do tshiva? He says, what's, I'm sorry, break it down for me. What's tshiva?
Yeah.
He says, I never heard of this thing. It's like, because no one told him about tshiva. Klal Yisrael lost one of his most powerful neshamas. Esav says, Tate, give me another chance. And Bashaf is like, another chance? What? Before Mashiach comes, Esav is going to come back as a Gilgal.
Oh, wow.
The Eibush is going to give him a chance to do tshiva right before the Geilah. Now.
That's Trump. You think?
Listen. Hey, let's see. Think of, so this is Mendel Kessen's.
Okay.
He figured this out when Trump was still running against 17 Republicans, and everyone treated him as a joke. And he's like, wait a second, what if this is Esav doing tshiva? So he said a list of things that
indicate
that would be part of Esav's tshiva. Now, when I first came across it, it was like, what a trip! This is so funny. and I was like, for years, I was kind of like, okay, but then I realized that everything he says Esav needs to do for his tikkun, Trump was doing.
Uh-huh.
He has to protect the Eden. He has to enable the Eden to learn Torah. He has to acknowledge that the entire Yisrael belongs to the Eden. All of the things that Esav was supposed to do in his lifetime that he didn't. And Trump is doing everything. Despite all of the pressure from the ganze Welt, Trump is doing this.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, there's a lot more to this.
It's deeper.
We're gonna...
I like it because I feel like it's accepting it for what it is and not analyzing what he's doing right or left. It's more like, there's a plan that we don't know, and there's a plan with Trump as well.
Everything fits into this. Now, Trump has the chida.
Right.
He still has bechira like Isav had bechira. He can
I
turn on
think
us.
he's an amazing guy. I mean, the people that know him personally all say that he's a fun guy. And you ever like hung out with him or
Yes,
had
of
a
course.
chance? Yeah.
But
On the
okay, a
plane?
lot of people who used to hang out with him say bad things about him.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Isav was extreme. He had the koyach to become one of the biggest tzaddikim, and he
Right.
ended up becoming one of the biggest rishuim.
Sure.
Trump has extreme personalities. Every good thing, every good meat, every bad meat, you'll find in Trump.
What do you think about him? You had a
I'm telling
skiffle
you.
with a scuffle, or what's it called?
Do you remember
Like
what? Tell the oilam the story. A kid
you
comes.
asked a
A
question.
kid comes over to
he
me.
gave you a question.
Honestly, listen to this. A kid comes over to me this summer. He says, "Is it true that Trump once screamed at you?" I say, "This guy, how old are you?"
Yeah.
He says 8. I'm like, "Wow, you know that happened before you were born?" Like, what? It hit me how old I am.
Yeah, yeah. You asked the question, "What are we doing to battle anti-Semitism?"
Yeah, he went
And
wild.
he was like,
For 2 minutes, he's just screaming.
in his head, he heard something like, "You're not doing enough to battle anti-Semitism."
Wait. Take it a step further.
Okay.
Take it a step
Or
further.
it's your fault that there's anti-Semitism.
Take it a step
You're
further.
an anti-Semite.
Take it a step further.
You're making other
No,
anti-Semites.
His neshama came down after 4,000 years to do tshiva, and he thinks a yid might be accusing him
Of
of
anti-Semitism.
failing in his mission.
Right. It's very
Do you know how
triggering.
scary it must have been for his
Right.
neshama to be? What? We failed. Look at lately. He's talking a lot about he wants to go to Gan Eden. He wants to get into heaven. He's trying to make peace all over the world because he wants to get into heaven.
Wow.
You know what the Benai Sascha says about it? He says, Isav, this will be about the peace board. What's the peace board? Isav is begamatri shulam. Also, Isav is begamatri shulam. But it's a shulam, it's a self-serving shulam. It's not a shulam that actually is trying to improve the world. It's a shulam because he wants to win the prize so he can show his opponent, haha, look at me. So he says, it's a shulam from the Sitra Achre. It's a shulam that's not going to last.
Right.
Everything that Chazal say about Isav, we can see it playing out.
So what was the trick in the story, the dry story? You asked him, what are we doing to battle anti-Semitism? He heard something about he's an anti-Semite, or that maybe he's not doing enough. And he went on a rant.
He cut me off. He didn't let me finish the question. And he already assumed that I was going to say, and you are the anti-Semite who's making up. Meaning, I said, like, there have been, I guess, 40-something bomb threats against Jewish institutions. And, like, how are you planning to... And so, in his mind, apparently, there's stuff that I can't really... that I can't reveal. Like stuff that happened afterwards. So we had closure. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
But B'Shas Masa, so he's thinking, is he going to say, and you're an anti-Semite? And
he just went.
So he went off the rails.
And he said what?
He started screaming at me, calling me names.
What did he call you?
Insulting, a liar, sit down. He
told you sit down?
Oh yeah, that's what he started. That's how it started.
Okay, sit down.
Sit down. I understand the rest. Okay, sit down.
I understand the rest.
First of all, I am the least anti-Semitic person you ever met in your entire life. That I can tell you. And the fact that you're asking this question is so insulting, very insulting. Whatever. It was he was not happy about that. But
it's interesting, a real trigger, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm explaining to you why the trigger was so profound.
Right. There was also another video of you circulating, and I think it's a fake video of you asking him a question.
Which about what?
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I don't know. Did you recently ask him a question in the past few months?
I just asked him a question 2 days ago. I asked him a question last week.
Okay, what was the question?
Tell me what you saw. I can't go through every single question I asked him.
I can't remember.
Was it the one about God?
Maybe. What was the question about?
Was the one about the Beis Hamikdash?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Is that real?
That was the press secretary. That wasn't him. That was the press secretary.
Okay, what did you ask the press secretary?
You tell me. You tell me the question you're referring to. I can't break down every one right now. What?
I'm checking Dovi Newberger's Instagram because I think he posted it.
Shout out Dovi Newberger.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah, I think it was the Bais Hamikdash, the Holy Temple. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What was that question?
It's a real question. It's not
What
AI.
did you ask him? What did you ask her?
So, okay, backstory. But this is we have to
Let me
finish
hear
with
the
this.
dry story first.
Tell you the dry
What did
story.
you ask her?
No, the story starts before the question.
Okay,
Starts
take the
before the
long
question.
road.
You have to understand the story
Okay,
because anybody can watch the clip and know what I asked. We'll get to that.
okay,
Story starts a Shabbos before.
yeah,
Okay, my mama's Olgezintan comes to me for Shabbos, and we're talking Shabbos either. And I said, you know, it's interesting. Lately, Trump is talking about the Bashafet. He's talking about wants to go into Gan Eden, like I mentioned. And my mother says, my mother grew up in a house where like her father was always about Mashiach, Mashiach, everything. Like he kind of trained me into this because he used to look for things in the
yeah.
Nayas and find chazals that show Mashiach, whatever.
Okay,
So my mother says, have you ever heard him talk about the Beis Hamikdash? And I said, I don't think so.
okay.
Should I ask him?
Right.
Well, was like, please, can you find out? I said, I'll see if I have an opportunity. Sure, I mean, no problem. It's my mama's kibbutz. What
Yeah,
can go
yeah,
wrong? Okay. The next press briefing was that Thursday. So from Shabbos to Thursday, there's no press briefing. The first press briefing was Thursday. Now Thursday happens to be was Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan.
Okay.
Now I'd seen a fascinating Ma'aseh. He says, why does the entire Chodesh Cheshvan do kan Yom Tov? Mar Cheshvan.
Right.
Why is it a Yom Tov in Cheshvan? He says Bashefa was keeping that whole month clear on the calendar because in Chodesh Cheshvan gazan the Yom Tov makumas by Samikdash Hashlishi. And this is on the Chodesh Cheshvan.
Right.
And my mother had just given me a tzivah to ask about the president and the Beis Hamikdash. I'm like, what can go wrong? Then, what was the briefing? What was the topic of the briefing about?
Rebuilding.
His ballroom, the grand ballroom that he's building in the White House. It just like everything was just as I red carpeted.
So what was your question?
So my question was, I said, first of all, you know, I mean, Trump is going to go down as the greatest builder of this generation. You know,
Yeah.
not just builder in terms of building actual buildings, but he's building nations. He's rebuilding society.
Right.
You know. So I said, to your knowledge, has it ever come up the topic of rebuilding the Holy Temple in Jerusalem? You know, it's a yes or no question.
Yeah.
So, right?
What did she say?
She laughed. She said, not as far as she knows.
Okay.
And that was that. The question was put out there. So what we officially were able to accomplish is Mituyah Tered Meida Beis Hamikdash in public.
Right.
It's no longer taboo. We broke through the ice. I took the beaches. Oh my gosh.
You're amazing.
4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning is like the first time I checked Twitter. I couldn't sleep that night. I go into Twitter 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm watching the anti-Semites melting down.
Oh, okay.
The Jews are doing it! Oh my gosh! And I'm laughing so hard. My wife wakes up. She's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Quite asleep."
Yeah.
So funny to see how panicked they were because, like, it came out of nowhere. Like, what you see, Hasidic Yid is talking openly about the Beis Hamikdash.
Yeah, that's why you do stuff that is amazing. How does it feel to have 40,000 followers?
I've had 40,000 followers for a very long time. I'm not trying to build Twitter.
It's not growing or something?
Not really, no, because the way to grow Twitter is you have to tap into negative energies usually is the way to grow.
Controversies.
It's social media. How does someone grow on Instagram? You have to feed the suit in something.
Right.
So how do people grow on Instagram? By posting things that are going to make someone else feel bad about themselves. You post your vacation, your beautiful lunch. People are more likely to engage if it's something that elicits outrage, elicits something that makes them angry. If it's just passive, they're not as likely
positive stuff.
Just positive stuff doesn't go. It's the same reason why like news is all about this hospital that burned down. You'd rather read about a hospital burning down than reading that your next door neighbor won the lottery and donated a hospital link.
Right. Good point.
So it's driven by the Sultan. So
you're not into negativity.
No, I understand the model. I understand how to use it. Not to say that everything is negative, but if you want to grow, you have to tap into the negative energies.
100%.
So yeah, so I've been at 40 and I'm fine over there.
You ever flew an Air Force One already?
It's something that I will talk to you about off the record. I'm not gonna answer
Okay.
now.
Okay, cool.
You'll understand why.
Exciting. Um, what about being in person with Trump? So you feel like you know him? I really want to meet him.
You don't.
No, why?
First of all, you have to attract them into your life.
Yeah, I know, I am.
Let's see.
I think I will.
Hatzilaini nu miad uchi miad aisav.
Yeah.
Most people don't understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Most people who've interacted with Trump got burned.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to also understand that most people who worked for Trump believed that they were smart enough to be able to handle him. Very few people were actually smart enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could see, Moshe Abi Berkowitz is one of the rare exceptions. Nichnas b'shulim yutzu b'shulim. Jared Kushner.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people who've been able to earn Trump's trust and understand how he operates consistently all throughout his entire the last 10 years. Nobody has been able to do it.
Are you saying that he's super smart, or are you saying you have to be super smart to deal with him?
You have to be, it's not just smart, you have to have a certain emotional brilliance. You have to be very smart emotionally and understand. Like when he screamed at me that time, yeah, I was very embarrassed, of course, but I didn't let it personally affect me. In fact, this was 3 weeks into his first term. It was like his first press conference.
Wow.
I didn't even vote for the guy. And yet I realized, I understood what happened. And all of these major TV programs, they're all trying to interview me and whatever. And I went on Fox and CNN and BBC and everybody. And they were trying to use me to say, look, he's an anti-Semite. And I said, no, he's not an anti-Semite. This is absolutely wrong. He didn't understand the question. And, he's in a combative mood. And that happens.
Were the networks fair, by the way? The fact that they wanted to point out
Yeah,
that he's anti-Semite and you said he's not?
Look, they had an agenda. They didn't take me out of context. They didn't twist my words or anything. We had a conversation about it.
Right.
I went on Al Jazeera. I actually more than once. I went on everybody. What was it? The Hollywood Reporter. Whatever it was. And I actually had his back. And it came to a point where the White House was like, "Stop doing this. We have our own press team. Like, we don't need you to do this." And I said,
Oh, wow.
It's not about you. You clean up your own messes, but I'm going out there because they're trying to use me. And again, I wasn't doing this because I was a fan of Trump.
Right.
I did it because I believed it was the right thing to do.
Stood up for the truth.
Yeah, and people would tell me like, "Hello, you're gonna get book deals if you just say, yeah, he's an anti-Semite. He shouldn't have said that. You'll get whatever."
Right.
I got offers. I got offers. And I'm like,
how did they email you, call you, or?
No, some of them call me. Some of them actually, like, I see them. Like, I work with the top of
Right.
every network. So I know these people. A lot of these people are my friends now.
Yeah.
So that was the thing about Trump. So when he screamed at me, I didn't take it personally. When he compliments me, I don't take it personally either. That's a mistake people make. He once told me, I interviewed him in Mar-a-Lago. He said something like you're one of the fairest reporters for the past 4 years. And I'm like, really? He ever read a single thing? He doesn't read. Like, what? So I'm like, okay, thank you, but I didn't even put the clip out there. That's how little regard I gave to the clip. It was like, okay, Sean. So he said it.
Right. Do you see yourself as a journalist or as like, what does it mean to be a journalist? What does it mean to be a reporter?
Wow, I'm so happy you asked me this question. Oh my gosh. You ready for another trip?
In Karten.
It's a
without Turx, for you, physically.
This is a Kartza one. No.
Okay,
you're gonna love this Toyota.
Okay.
Think back to the times of David HaMelech and all the Sachen, yeah?
Yeah.
There was only one kind of person who was allowed to criticize a king.
Okay.
Was not his advisor, was not his wife. No one, you're not allowed to tell a king what to do. You're not allowed to give a king misr. Who's the only one who was allowed to give a king misr?
Okay.
A Novi.
Okay.
About 100 and whatever years ago, this idea of a press corps developed. Started with President Garfield. You ever knew there was such a guy?
No.
So I think
I
there's
heard of the
a
name,
street
but
and square named after him. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
I heard the name. Yeah. There is a street in
James
Square.
James
You know,
Garfield.
I learned in Square for 3 years.
Altazoi.
Statel.
So then you could
I know
confirm
Garfield.
that
Yeah.
there's Garfield. Okay. James Garfield was the president, and he was shot like a few months into his term, and showing. So they let reporters into the White House to report on how I was feeling, and then over the years that turned into the White House press corps.
Okay.
A reporter is the only person who really is allowed to criticize the president, and is allowed to give mitzvah to a president.
Okay.
Problem is that most reporters, fake news,
Right.
fake news.
Yeah. Do you think it's taka
Most
fake
Nevi'im were false Nevi'im.
Mm.
Most Nevi'im were false Nevi'im. They weren't for every real Nevi. They were a dime a dozen fake Nevi'im. So a Yid who's a journalist, who's makbid, especially on Hilchos solution. That's why it's such a tava for journalists to spread Lashon Hara, because they could have so much power for good. That's why the Sultan tries to corrupt them. But a Yid who's a journalist, who's Elech, who tries to be makbid on Hilchos solution,
As a chiddush.
is someone who is fulfilling a role. We don't have a Nevi'ah now. Nevi'ah is coming back, supposed to come back before Mashiach. We see Yidden learning Novi now. We never learned Novi, and now there's like these many grassroots movements, these Novi Shidim that are just popping up all over the place. I'm seeing it. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
And Yidden Navi is coming back to Klal Yisrael. We're learning Novi again.
Right.
The Nevi'im said this. The Nevi'im said before Mashiach, Navi is going to come back to Klal Yisrael.
Right.
So a journalist is able to tap into this.
Right.
So this is what I'm trying to better understand. And you're like, okay, unkan toiris. No, that's the problem. Everything is toiris. It really is. It really is, and it doesn't make any sense otherwise. Freie Yidden, they see anti-Semitism and they freak out and panic. And I see anti-Semitism. I see Tyler Oliveira and Olivitis and all these people, and I say, stack me up on more popcorn.
Right. How nice. How often are you in the White House? Do you enjoy going?
It's a job away from the family. What am I going to do?
How long does it take from here to there? Like 3.5 hours? 4 hours?
Less. Well, it depends if it's traffic. It could be under 3 hours.
Under 3 hours from here to Washington?
Yeah, if you know when to go. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how often, on average, are you there? Like what, every other
Depends
week?
on a schedule. Depends on the week. I try to be there every week.
Yeah. You enjoy it? Do you feel like you have to be there, or like you said, it's a job? Like it's the point is you should be reporting back from Washington, but technically you can,
I have to be there. You have to be in the news to be able to fully understand enough of it to be able to
report it,
to see the Nevi'us playing out.
Yeah, but your articles are very humoristic. It's not always just.
Sometimes
it's not the dry news. It's usually like
analysis.
Last week you did like a collection.
Yeah, with the pizza index.
Yes, yeah,
that was fun.
Very interesting. Yeah,
it was interesting.
I love this concept.
I was hoping it would be real, and then it's like, no.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's this
theory,
this internet theory that before there's a major conflict is about to erupt, the Pentagon, the pizza shops in the Pentagon neighborhood get a lot of extra orders at night from Pentagon officials that are staying late.
Correct.
Yeah.
So based on that, people know that something's going on. So the news.
Right.
Is it true? It's probably true.
I was hoping it would be true, but based on the pizza store managers that I spoke to,
it's not true.
They want it to be true also, but there is zero evidence to back it up.
There's Yidden in Washington, right? There's a kosher restaurant there.
Yeah, more than one now.
Yeah, more than one kosher restaurant.
Yeah.
Kosher grocery already.
Silver Spring has it's a suburb, a half-hour drive away.
And anything on the way?
Grocery. Not much, not really, no.
You pass Maryland, I think, right?
Silver Springs in Maryland, yeah. It's part of DC Metro. So Silver Spring is where you have Menunim and they have all kinds of food options. It's
Baltimore?
Beautiful.
You're passing Baltimore also?
Yeah, but Baltimore is
a little bit out of the way?
Yeah. Baltimore is like over an hour from Washington. Silver Spring, without traffic, is 25 minutes.
Right. How does it feel to write an article? You enjoy it, or do you sometimes have, they call it writer's block? Like, I can see with the podcast how many times I'm like Friday afternoon, I have to record an episode still, like for Motzei Shabbos. So you're probably the same. You have deadlines every week, and you gotta put something in,
Well, when you have
and
deadlines,
it
it
has
makes
to
it easier.
be, yeah, right.
Without deadlines, like, why would you ever want to finish anything?
Yeah, but I also feel like your articles are very creative. If it would have just been the news from the week, you're like, okay, this happened, that happened. You always have a
You
twist.
have to keep yourself creative. If if um if I write a boring article, I would be too bored writing it to be able to finish it.
Yeah,
So I do it to entertain myself.
yeah. Well, okay. I think we just recorded the longest episode. How
Yeah,
long
I
are
see.
we?
I put
Two
you
and a
to
half
sleep.
hours? It is a
All
little bit
right,
exhausting.
Zaga benched. We're living in unbelievable times. Learn more Novi. I'm not going to say it again. I mean, I will, but not on this episode.
Yeah.
And shine.
Thank you so much. Really
Thank you,
appreciate
Ellie.
it. Thank you. Pleasure. Really, you're an inspiration. And
To
looking
the
forward to
nation.
more. Absolutely, yeah. It's a podcast, right?
Hi, Yaakov.
Yeah, Yaakov. Yeah, it's a great guy. Shout out to Living L'chaim. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Reminder that every week we have a raffle for whoever comments on the episode goes into a raffle to win $100. Make sure you're subscribed and you comment so that you can win. Second of all, please support our sponsors. Like, even if you can just message them and save their number to your phone, so when you need their services, you can reach out to them. That shows our sponsors that we have an audience, and that keeps us going. I am doing this 3 hours in the middle of my day, so I gotta make a living.
And my day?
No, I actually don't have to make a living. It's just that the podcast costs money, like the editing, the putting out shorts, the thumbnails, the whatever. So it helps just cover the basic cost pretty
If
much.
we're already doing promotionals,
Yeah, we can do a
I
promotion.
brought for you the copy of,
Oh, wow.
of not this week's, but the previous week's Mishpacha magazine.
This is the pizza article?
Not the pizza article. This is
One before?
No, this is the one before. The pizza article is still this week.
Okay.
This is the son of the Shah of Iran, the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi.
Okay.
And so here you go.
Shout out to Mishpacha.
Shout out to Mishpacha and a shout out to the Crown Prince.
And shout out, thank you. And shout out to Sameach, your charity.
Sameach is a very, very a deep place in my heart.
Right.
I want to say something interesting about the Crown Prince. One interesting thing. This guy was born into royalty. His father was the king of Iran. He was his Bechad. He was the Crown Prince. His entire life, everything, he was groomed to become the next king. So he had special tutors. He had to learn how to walk a certain way. Everything he did, because how to gupel and messer, everything was done with the knowledge that one day he's going to become the king.
Okay.
And he's 7 years old, and his father decides to have a coronation.
Right.
Coronation is like mamlechzan.
Yeah.
But means he was a king before then, but the coronation was to make him what's in Persian is called Shan Shah, which to us would be like L'havdul Melech Malchei Amluchim, meaning the king of kings. So he kind of got as an upgrade from king to king of kings.
Who, his father? Or?
His father.
Yeah, okay.
So when his father got this promotion, the son, was coronated to become the crown prince.
Okay.
You can't just voorstellen what a coronation looks like. You're talking about Matchat Tzaddik style. They had parades. This kid is sitting in his own wagon, made out of gold and who knows what. The king and queen are sitting on one wagon, and he sits in a wagon, a bunch of Pferden, and they're riding through town. Mamish, like Shishan style. Hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets, shrying COVID, and you're a 7-year-old kid. And then his father sits down on a big golden throne, and the son has a beautiful golden chair next to him, and the queen had a golden chair on the other side. And then he's 17, 18 years old. He's in the United States training how to become a pilot. And suddenly, whole Malich is just taken away from him like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about it for a second.
Who took it away?
The Ayatollah shows up.
Ah.
Jimmy Carter, the French government, they forced the Shah out of power. There were unpopular protests against him, or popular protests, depends on which side you're on. And he basically, instead of doing what Ayatollah is doing now and just like spraying bullets on the streets, he left the country. The Ayatollah came in, and Iran became what it's been like up until now.
Oh, wow.
Now, think about, this is what like fascinates me. And I met the Crown Prince. I spoke to him, and he's a fascinating individual. For almost 50 years, this guy goes from being on top of the world, and he never knew any other kind of life. And suddenly he's in Gulis. He moves around from place to place.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have, like, he can't settle down anywhere. He's always like, a lot of countries don't even want to let him in because it's like they don't need Shulam Bayis problems with Iran. And for all of this time, the Bashefa saves him from assassins.
Right.
The Bashefa saves him mentally. Like, how can one person just go through such a, and he builds himself up a life, a family, and
where does he live now?
He lives in Maryland.
New York, America?
Yeah, Maryland. Yeah, not far from DC.
No way.
Yeah, that's how I got to know him. And for most of this time, he's like, whatever. He's Nebuch. Like, people look at him like, oh, Nebuch. Like, what are you gonna say?
Right.
And there have been many protests and uprisings over the years against the regime, and the Kanatim are still kicked.
Yeah.
Suddenly now, you have the protests, and people realized that what's he been doing all these 50 years? He's been going out there talking about how terrible the regime is to the Iranian people, and he's the only one who's going around and he's trying to raise awareness about what his people have been put through. And especially because Iranian people noticed that no one in the media is really paying them any attention.
Right.
They're not getting what the Palestinians have been getting.
Right.
So who's the one guy who's actually been standing up for them for decades?
Right.
This guy.
Controversial question. Do you think that this kind of journalism has a power?
What's the kind of journalism you have to read?
This is like a few thousand Yidden read this on Shabbos. Can this change anything? Or this is just for entertainment purposes?
Neither. It's establishing a record. Look.
No, when the New York Post or the Time magazine makes an article, millions of people see it. It can bring awareness.
And then what? And then all those people die, and nothing, and then the world moves on. The idea is not to change anything. The idea is not to change anything. The idea is
entertainment.
That, first of all, we're the Aman Nivchar. I'm sorry, accept it.
So you're saying this is powerful because when
it's the Misa Haskell, where Time magazine. You're saying the Chofetz Chaim should have written articles in Time magazine if you wanted to reach more people. The idea is that you have a person who's able to survive like half a century in Gulis. There's a lot of parallel to what Clark's been through.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Side point.
So
anyway.
But to finish up the point that now the protesters have been chanting his name in the streets. Suddenly, he is seen as a
hero,
as the potential leader of the entire protest movement now.
No way.
And it happened overnight. This has been going on for the last month or two. That's it.
Does he want to move back or no?
Well, he wants to. When the regime falls, someone's going to have to
take over and become a king. No.
No. It's going to have to be. Well, he talks about a transition. You can't go from a dictatorship to automatically having a democratic election the next day. Like, a lot of things have to be worked out. So you need a transition. And because he's been studying these things for decades, this is what he's been studying, statesmanship, and he has the name recognition and everything. So he's offered himself to be part of a transition. Now, if he puts his name on the ballot, and he's democratically elected, then great, he's president. If he chooses not to, then he doesn't have to run. Or if someone else is elected, then he's not president. But but he's offering to lead the transition.
Wow.
But I think there are a lot of fascinating qualities that we could learn from his life story. It's just a fascinating story.
Wow. All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Reminder to like the episode, share the episode, subscribe. As I mentioned, you get a chance to win $100. And every week we have a raffle like this. So thank you. I'm going to put Jake's information in the description. Your Twitter, Samach's link for if somebody wants to donate.
Please do it for me.
Yeah.
Do it for me. Just a couple of dollars.
And can we put your number, like if somebody wants to reach out to you? Because a lot of people want to say thank you. So where can they reach you? Email?
They should just pass along the
Twitter?
thank you. Twitter, yeah.
Or a comment in the YouTube section. Comment in the,
Comment in the YouTube
comment,
section.
and if there's
Yes.
enough comments, we'll try to make another episode.
My DMs on Twitter are open. On Instagram, LinkedIn, it's all at Jake Turx. I sometimes don't get to all the messages right away, but Twitter is usually the one that the place that's the easiest to reach me,
Okay.
and then we can get the conversation going from there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.